injury to themselves or the shooter. The Inspector General later ruled the officers were justified in discharging their weapons that night. Federal judge has temporarily blocked President Trump's plan to push out federal employees by offering them financial incentives. The ruling came hours before the midnight deadline for workers to apply for the deferred resignation program. On another front, a second federal judge in 2 days blocked the president's executive order ending birthright citizenship to the children of parents who were in the U.S. illegally. Hearing from numerous groups about what they think or don't think of Governor Lamont's proposed 2-year state budget. When it comes to education, the Connecticut Education Association is looking for $545 million to be spread out among schools across the state to keep up with inflation and catch up on past losses. But President Kate Diaz says the $160 million being proposed doesn't help them get ahead.
It sounds like a lot of money until you spread it across 169 districts. And then you realize, wow, that's not actually going very far. And so for us, not seeing really an infusion of resources to do things like raise salaries, improve working conditions, and make the field generally more appealing, I think that was disappointing.
She does applaud the governor's effort to boost low-cost or no-cost preschool programs for children growing up in lower-income households. President Trump's blaming an obsolete system for the collision 1 week ago between an Army chopper and a passenger jet over the Potomac in Washington.
We spent billions and billions of dollars trying to renovate an old, broken system instead of just saying, cut it loose, and let's spend less money and build a great system.
WTIC News Time, 3:04, checking traffic. A couple of issues out here. May or may not be due to the weather. Route 9 in New Britain, southbound between exits 35 and 33, right lane blocked due to a two-vehicle crash. In Harwinton, 72 closed on the northbound side near Preston Road. There's a crash out there. And there's also a crash on Route 8 in Harwinton, southbound, that has the area of exits 46 and 44 closed. Tractor-trailer involved with that. And Route 8, again, closed in that general area because of a tractor-trailer crash. And we go to Wallingford, where we still have the 13 on-ramp to 91 North closed due to a crash. Let's check in with Jason Caterina. He's got the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
For the rest of our Thursday afternoon, we'll get some areas of freezing drizzle, a storm total of 3 to 6 inches of snow when it's all said and done, the high 34. Becoming clear tonight, the low down to 31. A windy day on Friday with clouds and sun. Now, the high 37 is going to feel like it's down in the 20s at best with a strong cold west-northwest wind at 12 to 25 miles an hour all day. Then Saturday, increasing clouds during the day, quiet daytime, but nighttime.
Mic check.
Messy. The high 35
yo.
Saturday. Saturday night, another
all right.
Of snow with rapidly deteriorating road conditions. The low down to 27. Increasing amounts of sunshine on Sunday with periods of snow and sleet ending in the morning with little or no additional accumulation. So a storm total 3 to 6 inches. The high.
What you know about that?
Monday, clouds and sun.
You'll learn. You'll learn.
Cloudy, a little snow in the afternoon. Tuesday, the high 29.
You know you can't be playing all that music, right? I can play this. It's a parody.
All right, we currently have cloudy skies. Looks like the precipitation is finally shut off. It's 25 right now in Hartford. Markets down on Wall Street. The Dow's off 227 points. NASDAQ down 10. S&P down 3 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
They say no two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language?
I don't know about
learning app
that,
with over
Zach.
60
That's too
million
cold for me.
subscriptions sold?
Ice fishing.
Well, we thought of you. All of you. Take
Closest
Sierra.
I come to
She's
ice
an
fishing
artist
is
and absolutely
a
visual
goldfish
learner.
in a glass of
She's
ice
doing a deep
water.
dive into our Babbel wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Malcolm is very much a type A, say it to my face type of learner. So he checks with Babbel's speech recognition to make sure that accent.
Sur le point.
Hey, Mama
Keep it
D.
sweet. He's a be in the room with real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Ok, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
Wherever you are, however you
By the
learn,
way, I
Babbel
asked
is
you
the best
yesterday,
choice to
Roland,
break any
have you
language
listened to
barrier.
Redman's new
Try
album
Babbel
yet?
for free at Babbel.com.
Oh, no, I haven't.
Well, they
Babbel.com.
just dropped
Babbel.com.
Meth
Is
and
credit
Red.
card debt ruining your life? Did you know
They have
you
a song on the
right
album
to
called
settle
La
that
La
debt
La.
for much less?
Yep.
And they just dropped the
JetBlue has helped
they just
people
dropped the
just
music
like
video
you
this
resolve
morning.
millions of dollars of high interest credit card
It's
debt.
nothing,
They
you
can
know,
help with
fantastic,
payment
but I
relief,
just love
the
to see
burden
them
of
together.
rising
They
inflation,
literally
and have
give
a
me
large
goosebumps
portion of your
when they
debt
perform
wiped
together.
clean.
Yeah, they seem like they like the best of friends
They
ever.
do, I know.
A
And
free
it's like
10-minute phone call could save you thousands.
he calls
Discover
Method
how
Man
to
the
reduce or
diva
completely resolve your credit debt.
because he turned so
We're
many
sure that
songs
we can
down.
reduce your debt that we offer the Debt Blue Success
I'm
Guarantee.
sure he is a diva though.
Yeah.
He did that Snoop Dogg song though. He didn't turn
I
that
know,
down.
nah.
Solved, so
But
there's
when I see
absolutely
them
no risk
together,
to
it's like
call.
I wasn't
For your
sure about
free
when they
debt
first got
resolution
together for
plan,
How
call
High. I was like, I don't know if this is a little
800-211-5209.
gimmicky.
That's
And then they kept working together. I was just going,
800-211-5209.
I think
The
somebody
call
put
is
this
free.
together was
The
smart.
consultation is free.
Yeah.
Well, the more you
Def
can
Jam's
save.
a genius in
Call
that one.
now. 800-211.
Yeah, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
800
Well, Def they were the ones that said
5209.
what was it, the Year of the Man.
You're
All right, here we
always
go.
supposed to be the party of free speech, the party of women's rights. You have immolated.
Hey, yo! Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese's all over me. Yo,
let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Oh, baby, and welcome to your Thursday. It is none other than Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. I hope that you are all having a wonderful day as we wrap up and go into the evening, your drive home. You're finishing your last bit of work before you get out of here, and I am here to take you home, of course, with my good friends and compadres, Roland, Mark Christopher, the BPS Traffic Center, and, of course, Jason Caterina with your weather. And I know the weather has been bad. We'll get into that a little bit. But I got to play this thing because it was inspired by Scallywag, a Scallywag known as Rama. He said this to me yesterday, and I said, oh, don't give me any ideas because I'll take you to task. And it has everything to do with what Elon Musk is doing in Washington, what Doge is doing in Washington, the Department of Government Efficiency, going in there and, counting the beans, as we're supposed to do. Everybody wants to know, where's our money going? Who's it going to? Well, now we know. And the Democrats are angry. The Democrats are screaming and hollering about it. And I said, you know what it needs? You know what will make the Democrats, to make them calm down? Maybe if there was a theme song. If there was a theme song that would sort of make them feel good about what Elon Musk and what Donald Trump are doing. Because music is one of those things that brings us all together. And so Rama came up with this idea, and it goes a little something like this. Elon, please consider it as your theme song from the ludicrous song, I've got... Area Codes is the name of the song. But I think the song should be called I've Got Doge in different area codes. I've got Doge. I've got Doge in different area codes. Area code. I've got Doge. I've got Doge in different area codes. Area code. Doge. Yeah, Doge in different area codes. That means no matter where you are, if you need a bean counter, just call Doge, and it can come into your area code any day. That's hot. How could you not do that? So, if you are thinking about bringing Doge to your neck of the woods, I think you should call him up. I think he's got a hotline number, right? There's got to be a hotline number for people to call. So, by the way, if you want a copy of that new promo, just let me know. I'll send it to you. Doge in different area codes. So, this is something that I got to bring up only because yours truly, Reese on the radio, has been called everything under the sun when it comes to predicting the next wave or trend in politics. Everyone comes to me and says, man, you just said it yesterday. Oh, man, I cannot believe. Have you seen this? You were just talking about it. Now, I don't know where this came from. I think it was when I got sober. When I got sober and I got clear-headed, I think that's what happened. I think something happened to my brain and it just expanded. It started reaching out into the world. I really do believe that. And just yesterday, folks, what was I talking about? What was I talking about? I was talking about how the Democrat Party is in the inner city and how similar it was to Gaza. How the people in and around the Muslim world were allowing people in Palestine to live in squalor, fomenting their hate over and over again so they could be angry at their neighbors, the Israelis. And then this guy comes out of nowhere yesterday. He's gone viral. He's gone everywhere. He's being friended by Dinesh D'Souza, Megyn Kelly. Elon Musk is even posting his video. Here's a little bit of it. His name is Isaiah Carter. I'm going to give you 3 pieces of his full rant because they should be taken in segments. Isaiah Carter apparently was a Democrat, and he's decided he is done with it. As you remember, Courtney Ann from Real and Raw, she came here and asked, what is going to happen when people open their eyes? Well, I think we have a preview.
This political party, the Democratic Party, have lied to us about everything. They've lied about being the party of the middle class. They've lied about being the party of peace. They've lied about being the party that wants to help poor people. Okay? What the last several weeks have proven to us all is that this is a cadre of criminals and losers and spoiled children of affluent parents who were more concerned about looking good than actually doing good. These are people who were more concerned about looking like they were doing something for the American people than actually doing things for the American people. And that's why I'm so angry. Because this party lied to me while stealing my tax dollars. The Democratic Party lied to us all while they brought in millions of illegal immigrants for their own political purposes for the last 4 years. 20 to 30 million illegal aliens brought in.
He didn't stop there. This is the good part. This is the real good part.
And now we come to USAID being probably the largest money laundering operation in American history. Congratulations, Dems. You've outdone even Bernie Madoff. I'm disgusted beyond words. Disgusted with the waste of money. Disgusted with the waste, with the fraud. With the way that you people use color legitimacy and the way you use black people as mules to get us to push whatever agenda you wanted to. The amount of division you used black people to sow upon the American people, you used us for that. And I will never, ever forgive this political party that I've gone through personally.
And he ended it here. And I think this is the part that every Democrat should really, really take to heart. I'm not talking about the leadership. I'm talking about liberals. And I know that you listen to this show. You're not fooling anybody. I want you to listen to this guy because according to what I found out, this guy was an actually devotee of the Democrat Party. A devotee. And this is what he's saying to Democrats, to your party. You can shun him if you want, but you know this is true.
Y'all were supposed to be the party of free speech, the party of women's rights. You have immolated all of those things. And then, as if enough weren't enough, you then decide that you're going to die on the hill of USAID, a government audit. You're trying to prevent a government audit because some of you really are trying to stay out of prison. We see the game now. Y'all been out here telling us that the game was rigged against certain people. Well, now we found out who the people that were rigging the game were. Congratulations. Y'all are never going to win another political race ever again. Not if I can help it.
How do I phrase this? Because I don't even think Democrats are going to really take any heed to what he said, but that's what's happening. But I want you to take into consideration something that we know that Democrats will never be able to deal with. It didn't matter that conservatives were saying this to Democrats or African Americans or Hispanic people in the community. It doesn't matter that we were saying this over and over again. The reason why the tide is turning today and they're scared as all get out, Democrats, why they're scared as all get out, is because social media is really popular in those communities. And in those communities that they used to control, Democrats have no handle on. They cannot control the message those people are getting. And like Isaac here, he is probably on X. Well, in fact, I know he's on X. He is now on Facebook. He is now on Google. All of those outfits have now decided that they're going to let the guardrails go down and allow free speech to flow. The free flow of information is going to be there for him to see. And now this USAID thing is so absurd. The things are so despicable that now they get to see truly who Democrats are, and they can't fight it. The only thing they could do is scream and holler. It's all they have is the screaming and hollering. And they look silly. I want to play this. This is kind of associated with this. Kind of associated. But see, I know Isaiah saw things like this. Listen closely. Because what did I also tell you? I told you that it was my job, Reese on the radio, self-appointed, I might add, to be here to free the slaves. And that was to show you what these people think of you. And that's black folks, what they think of you. You want to truly see what they think of you? Here's a perfect example. 2 white liberal women who care about black women and believe that black women should have a more prominent voice in the world, how we behave, how we care for one another, how we move forward. 2 white women who I think are well-meaning until the truth comes out.
Y'all were...
You know, black women are probably the least respected in America. Their voices aren't heard. Their issues aren't paid attention to. Many white women look beyond their own personal interests, and they leave black women out of the conversation. And I think America needs to change about that.
What are we not trusting them to do right now?
How to care for our country, how to care for each other, how to stand up and fight for things that aren't right.
Millions of black women voted for Trump. Should we trust them?
Millions of black women voted for Trump?
Way too many. It is.
Should we trust them?
I don't know.
Maybe not trust black women then.
That's not true. I do trust black women.
Who'd vote for Kamala Harris?
I think. He wants to know if I trust the black women who voted for Trump.
Don't you know? How do you not know? You don't know if you trust black women who voted for Trump? Why would you be confused about that, woman? Why would you be up in the air on the answer of whether or not you can trust black women who voted for Trump? What's the confusion about? So it does matter what they think. It does matter. It means in order for them to be the people who usher us forward, they have to think a certain way. But folks, if you haven't seen this video, it got worse.
I think they voted against their own interests, so it's really hard to put the idea of trust together with someone who is continuing to vote against themselves, right?
So it sounds like they don't have very good judgment.
Yeah, I'm not sure that it's not having good judgment. I don't think they necessarily connect the dots, and I do.
They're stupid.
No, they're not stupid.
Then what the hell are they? They don't necessarily connect the dots. They vote against their own interests. If you're watching this on ReeseOnTheRadio.com, you know where this is. This is Inauguration Day in Washington, D.C. These are white women talking about black women, scared to death to say what they really mean, at the same time saying the most despicable things about them. If they voted for Trump, they voted against their best interest. They couldn't connect the dots. Exactly, Rama. That damn black brain.
But I think it's...
No, I'm just asking but it is hard to trust people who are stupid and have bad judgment, right? And black women who vote for Trump are stupid and have bad judgment.
No, we did not say that. Nope.
I think they don't connect the dots, and so they're looking at only certain things and thinking that's important and not connecting the dots.
It sounds like those black women need to be educated by white women like you.
Yeah, not
true. Not
they just need a good white woman to come in and tell them what's up.
You're putting words in our mouths again, and you're trading it.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to do that.
This idea that white people are going to be the white saviors me off.
But if white women like you don't educate them, how are they ever going to learn to vote the way that they're supposed to vote?
You know, as a white woman, I'm happy to help educate and talk to people, but it's not my job to go convince somebody else.
I hope you're able to get through to some of those untrustworthy, stupid black women. Good luck.
That's all I want you to hear. That's all I want you to hear. And folks, look, I love you. By the way, those of you who support Reese on the Radio, I love you from the bottom of my heart. But there's a reason why you need to share this program. There's a reason why you need to share this program. The reason why I do it on ReeseOnTheRadio.com is because of things like that. You need to see it. You need to watch it. You need to share it with others. Spread the word. They're no different than the Klan. The Democrats will always be who the Democrats are. They are the party of the Klan. They see black people as dumb and uneducated and can't connect the dots. They see them as people who need to be ushered and shown the way, unable to think for themselves, to use reason and rationale. They need a handout. This is who they are. That's all the proof you need. Well-meaning white woman. They are so worried. Oh, I'm not saying that. She lost her mind when she found out that black women voted for Trump. They think differently? Wait a minute. You just need to see that. I'm going to say this so that everyone understands, especially the libs, more than likely the libs, okay? I have waited 22 years on radio for a moment just like this, and damn it was well worth it. It was well worth it. You're all being exposed. You're all being exposed for exactly who I said you were. And you could sit there all day, but the game is over. The jig is up. It's no longer a joke. It's for real. There's no coming back for you. This is a party not only in disarray, but it is ultimately destroyed. The only way for you is up or to the right. But you know what you just saw was real, and it hurts a lot. We'll come back. More news, more views, and your phone calls at 860-522-WTIC. It's Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Follow WTIC News Talk 1080. Don't miss out on important updates in Connecticut. From breaking need-to-know news, weather alerts, and more. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app now.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
College sports hold a mythic place in American culture. But sometimes the drama off the court overshadows the action on it.
The higher-ups are concerned about one thing, and that is avoiding scandal.
I'm Margot Gray. On the new podcast, Campus Files, we cover everything, including some of the biggest scandals in college sports. Listen to and follow Campus Files, an Odyssey original podcast, available now on the free Odyssey app and wherever you get your podcasts.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to.
Happy Thursday, Jason. Welcome back.
Fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to goodrx.com/GLP. That's goodrx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
And now, a WTIC news update.
3:30, I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. The woman accused of firing a gun in the Bristol Police Department in 2023 has pled guilty. 52-year-old Suzanne LaPrise will be sentenced on a charge of criminal attempt to commit assault with a firearm. It was October 6, 2023, when LaPrise opened fire at the front desk office window in the lobby of the Bristol PD headquarters. Snow and freezing rain made for a tricky commute this morning. In anticipation of the bad weather, many school districts decided to play it safe and close for the day. Today's was the first of several rounds of winter weather forecasted for the area over the next week or so. Medical experts advise staying safe when it comes to snow removal. Dr. Jason Cahill down at Bridgeport Hospital says if you're not the most physically active, get someone else to do the snow shoveling. And if you do experience issues like sudden fatigue or shortness of breath, might be time to seek medical attention. Man's under arrest for allegedly assaulting police officers in Plainfield. Albert Herbert is charged. Police say they were called to the Quality Inn Wednesday night on Lathrop Road on a report of an intoxicated man. Police say he spat on officers, tried to grab one's taser and another's firearm. Israel says it has begun preparations for the departure of large numbers of Palestinians from the Gaza Strip in line with President Trump's plan for the territory. And Governor Lamont delivered his proposals on how to lower prescription drug costs today, as lawmakers now consider the budget guidelines and thoughts he's given them to ponder over the next several months. WTIC News Time, 3:31. Jason Caterina's got the forecast.
Well, the rest of our Thursday afternoon, we'll get some areas of freezing drizzle with 3 to 6 inches storm total snowfall by the time it's all said and done. The high of 34 today. Becoming clear tonight, the low dropping down to 31. Then windy with a mix of clouds and sun as we make our way into Friday. The high of 37. Going to feel a lot colder with that strong, cold west-northwest wind. Then Saturday, increasing clouds, quiet during the day, but deteriorating travel conditions at night, the high 35. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
From the WTIC 24-hour traffic network in Rocky Hill, 91 northbound between 23 and 24. Look out in the left lane there for a one-vehicle crash. Route 8 remains closed in Waterbury between 46 and 44 due to a tractor-trailer crash. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Ben, this is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and you've heard me talk a lot about how treating low testosterone can improve your sleep, your workouts, your energy levels, and more. But today I want to talk about your sex drive, because low testosterone can have a significant impact on your desire for intimacy. It can even be a factor in erectile dysfunction, and if you're in a relationship or wanting to be in a relationship, a low sex drive could really be a problem. The good news is that if you're like most guys, treating a low T could really change the way you feel about sex, giving you back that flame and desire that is so important when you love someone. So if you're feeling sluggish and tired, if you're not sleeping well, if your workouts aren't that great, and most of all, if your sex drive is more like a putt, make an appointment at Northeast Men's Health and have your testosterone levels checked. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices in the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Life can be unpredictable at times, but you shouldn't have to suffer the consequences of someone else's negligence. If you've been in an accident or work-related injury and it's not your fault, you need a lawyer who knows how to get you the fair and just compensation. At Brown, Payne, Dearest & Scott, our team of personal injury lawyers have over 100 years of combined experience. At BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer. You get a law firm. Call us at 860-CALL-BPS or visit bpslawyers.com. Bruce Newman is responsible for the content of this ad.
Here at Columbia Implant Center, we offer leading-edge technology that allows our patients to have their procedures done in one day, 7 days a week.
I scheduled my treatment on a Sunday, and I'll be back to work on Monday.
The thought of dentures at my age, that was the last thing I wanted. But I didn't want the pain anymore either.
Columbia Implant Center eased my mind. They feel like my own teeth.
Our digital dental lab.
We're not having a problem with the phones or anything, right?
Provides efficient and dynamic care that takes.
Having what?
We're not having any problem with the phone or anything, are we?
University of
No.
You got nothing on it? Okay, good.
We give our students
I thought it was because like I didn't.
credit for
I left. It's the same screen from yesterday, and I'm always thinking I have to refresh it.
Oh, nah, it's not on there right now.
Okay, good.
3 kids, 2 dogs, and a full-time job.
Good, they're finally letting me open up the show.
Credit for serving in the military by cybersecurity at night. For over 75 years, we've been helping students receive the credit they deserve. With more than 135 degrees and certificates, students at UMGC can use prior learning or relevant experience to earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's, and graduate students can transfer up to 12 credits toward their master's. At UMGC, you'll find everything, online to hybrid courses, lifetime career services to scholarship opportunities, making your education journey flexible, fast, and affordable. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start February 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. Did you know that 1 in 4 people seeking treatment for ED are under 40? So you're not alone. And even better, Hims can help.
Not about 40 seconds.
That fits
Okay.
your needs at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. It all starts with an online intake form. From there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. Through hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. Free online visit and save up to 95%. Go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
You know, one of the things that has always driven me crazy about what's been going on politically is, you may have heard me in exchanges with liberals on this show very early on during my tenure here about the culture wars. And all of this stuff, whether you believe it or not, DEI, CRT, LGBTQ issue, all of this, it's all culture stuff. And we were warned over and over and over again. Why won't you Republicans stop cutting out with the culture wars? You know, you guys need to focus on other things and get rid of the culture wars. Ask yourself a question. Why did Democrats lose? Just ask yourself, whether you're conservative, in the middle, or far left, why did they lose? Why? Everything it had to do was with culture wars. Do you think it was egg prices? Do you think it was the economy? Sure, that played a huge role. But exit polling said that there was a lot of stuff that just didn't make sense, and they were all culture war related. DEI and transgenderism were two of the biggest. Two of the biggest. Because they would make or break an organization. Bud Light is still reeling from the Dylan Mulvaney stunt. Just an off the side trying to quietly support a fake female. Destroyed that company. Target putting up, I don't know, just bathing suits, questionable bathing suits. People talking about men and women's sports. What is a woman? Not being able to answer that question. Anyone is a woman. All of these things were cultural. All of them. And they were, if not 60% of why the election went the way it did. The reason why Donald Trump is citing common sense is a reason why they're doing so well. It's the reason why it's so effective. And if I might add, exciting. Excited to get back to some norms, some traditions. But when I say this and I go to I'm looking at these people, I'm going, they don't seem to get it. They were telling us not to pay attention to the culture wars. Let me tell you why. Because they were losing them. That's all it was. The reason why they told us to stop. Remember, I know you do. It was like, that's all you Republicans ever talk about. You always want to get in a culture war with us. You're just so mad because we control the culture. If you moved on and talked about things that mattered, maybe I'll win something. Okay. But we knew. We knew. Here's another example.
I think these numbers are really illuminating on this topic because I just think there's such a clear trend among the American public. So transgender female athletes in women's sports, only 18% of the country says that they should be, in fact, allowed to participate in women's sports. Compare this to the opposition. I mean, my goodness gracious, 79%. You rarely get 79% of the country to agree on anything, but they do, in fact, agree on the idea of opposing transgender female athletes in women's sports. But it's not just the here and now, Laura. It's not just the here and now. What we're actually seeing is a trend on this particular issue.
Oh, again, this is why they didn't want us fighting the culture war. Watch closely.
And it's going in the direction of opposition. So take a look here. Okay, transgendered female athletes, and amongst those, Americans who oppose them in women's sports. Back in 2021, it was 62%. A majority, but, not anywhere close to a ginormous majority, right? A clear majority, but not a ginormous majority. But then again, you look here in 2025, you see it at 79%. So it's not just that the majority of Americans are opposed to transgender female athletes in women's sports. It's that the opposition has become considerably larger in just the last 4 years. I think these numbers...
It jumped 17% in 4 years. 17% in 4 years. 1 point lower than the percentage of those who are for transgenders in sports. In 2021, and I joined this station in 2022, that's what I was told on this very network. Move on from the culture wars. A 17-point swing towards being against transgender men in sports is exactly why they didn't want us talking about it, because they knew it had legs. That's all I'm saying. 860-522-WTIC. Simsbury Joe's on the line. What's up, boss?
That was a fantastic monologue. That was awesome.
Thank you.
I had some people that were listening in because with the app you can't go back. So I said, no, you got to listen to this, and they're glad that they did. I'm just waiting for the Democrats to start going to the judges and saying that Trump is involved with voter suppression with all the stuff that he's doing right now. I know that one's coming. So, purpose of my call, to follow up on what you were saying, is I'm in the mode right now, and I'm sure it'll change as the days change, of playing for keeps. And what I mean by that is that in my lifetime, the worst thing, and we all have issues that occur in our lifetimes with relationships, people who pass away, any number of things, tragedies. In my lifetime, the worst time period was those first few months of COVID. Mm-hmm. And I believe, and I even heard from a friend of mine today who said her 12-year-old son just said, Mom, things are just so different since COVID. Mm. And what I want to say here, a little bit of education, is that some of the stuff we're hearing from the USAID is only a precursor to some of the other stuff that's out there that's going to come out when we get access to CDC records, Health and Human Services, and others.
Yeah.
In 2019, and this is a fact, everything I'm going to say is a fact, they found out, the CDC and the Red Cross found out December 2019 that 2% of blood donors had COVID antibodies in their blood. Mm. Yet COVID, we were told, didn't start until the lab leak in Wuhan in 2020. They've also found COVID antibodies in different states in the fall of 2019. Mm-hmm. Now, that means that our society went into lockdowns at the recommendation and the request of prominent Democrats.
Yes, without a
doubt. It was all based on a false premise. So those people that lost their businesses, that lost relationships, that, heaven forbid, maybe they lost their homes and kids couldn't go to college. Mm-hmm. COVID was out before they told us, and the fact that they knew it was out meant that the lockdowns were meaningless.
Yep.
They were false. They were done to hurt Trump and to protect their Democrat empire. And then the vaccines, how many times, because I can't point to one single Republican who I saw in the media saying this. It could be wrong. If someone wants to find it, I'm willing to eat my words.
He didn't say, I'll give you this. He never laid it out as the way you did just now. But if anyone, Senator Rob Johnson was the one guy who I saw on Maria Bartiromo's show questioning everything. And he was even sounding what many would call a QAnon guy with the stuff that he was talking about. And two of my favorites in particular was talking about, he was the one who revealed that members of Congress were taking ivermectin when CNN was bashing it. Another thing he revealed was how many people had died in 25 years taking the flu vaccine versus taking the COVID vaccine. He was one of the guys who only said that on mainstream media. And I can't remember the third, but I remember those two in particular. So he was one of those guys out there who was, going far beyond what Republicans were willing to say.
Well, I can only remember, and I don't think this is selective memory, anyone other than a Democrat saying, get your COVID vaccine, it will prevent you from getting it, and it will prevent you from giving it.
Yes.
So we have lockdowns and we have vaccines brought to you by the Democrat Party to hurt Donald Trump to protect their empire. And that's only part of it. I only mention it because I started off saying COVID is probably the worst time period in not only my life, but the lives of many other people. It was Democrats who did this. It was Democrats who lied. It was Democrat supporters who encouraged you to inject yourself with something that was not generated during Operation Warp Speed, but was generated years prior. All factual.
I agree,
So
I think you're on point.
More nice.
I think you're on point with every one of those with every one of those points you just laid out. I think you're 100% correct, and I think that's probably what the fear is. The screaming and the hollering and the hair on fire and the sky is falling is because people know that if they don't stop Elon Musk, if they don't stop Donald Trump, they know that the curtain's going to be pulled back on Oz. That's all it is. And there's no stopping it because they can't control the flow of information. They're going to the same old places to spew the falsehoods, but no one's getting their information from there anymore. So it's like screaming into a bucket to these people that they don't seem to get it, but it's over. So
the best is yet to come.
Oh, yeah, I could agree.
There were people that predicted suicides in large numbers when all this comes out, because they say people will not be able to handle it.
Yeah, exactly.
They won't be able to handle how much they fell for the lies.
Yeah, indeed. All right, I'm going to grab Dave. Mark in West Hartford is on the line too, but I want to hold Mark over for the break. Dave, I can take you I'm only going to have him for a minute. Okay, both guys, hold on. I'll get you guys on the other side of the break because I've got I've got a whole bunch of people who are in the chat room that I haven't even acknowledged. Thank you, commentary. Welcome back. And I got John Beckman, Lori, a whole bunch of people who are in the chat room. Jimmy Mack is also in the chat room, so I'm going to get to their comments when we come back. So stick around for that. We've got more news, more views. We are talking about, in essence, what can only be described as the fall of the Democrat Party, and it's getting worse and worse every day. So it doesn't matter if judges are going to be stopping Donald Trump from kicking government officials out. The expose into your tax dollars and what the government has been doing behind your back is on its way. And it is going to be, if you think that Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Donald Trump's administration is running at breakneck speed, you have no idea. It is going to be 365 days of new revelations. Pam Bondi, forget about it. She's confirmed. I expect that to be another, a bunch of bomb droppings there. And Cass Patel, even though they're going to delay that, they're only delaying the inevitable. And what he finds out is probably going to be, as Joe just put it, probably very, very calamitous for a lot of people who've been keeping secrets away from you for a long time. So stick around. We'll be back. More news, more views when we return. It's Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
4000.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. Did you know that 1 in 4 people seeking treatment for ED are under 40? So you're not alone. And even better, HIMS can help. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/radio. It all starts with an online intake form. From there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. Through hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
ZipRecruiter is the place.
1 minute.
It's for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. So if you want the right candidates for your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
It's Reese on the radio. Ask your doctor if common sense is right for you. On News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Let's get to the phones real quick. And my friend Mark in West Hartford, Pulitzer Prize nominated someday. Mark in West Hartford. How we doing, buddy?
No, I'm coming right back. Just on the phone. Hey, Reese.
What's up, buddy?
So I'll piggyback off of Joe in a kind of odd way.
Yeah.
So I'm starting a crusade, and I hope others will join me. So what Joe just mentioned kind of leads into what I want Doge to look into.
Yeah.
Which is the ARPA money.
ARPA, okay.
$1.9 trillion that I know, and I've been paying attention to news articles about different things being funded that had nothing to do with rescue.
Right.
They just happen to be dipping into these funds. So I found the site, and I'm hoping to provide it. I'm going to go on X, on Twitter. I'll send it to you. I'm hoping you can do the same.
Okay.
What I want people to do is let's start a crusade, because I did talk to a representative, Aaron Bean, down in Florida, his office, and they said they're getting a lot of traffic. And she said what pops out, obviously, is when people point at the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
She goes, we're kind of aware of the ARPA stuff, but just think about it. I think you're aware that they use this ARPA money for things outside the scope of what it was intended to do. So I found this site, and it's easy. You know, if you can't, just go online, but it has the word Doge in it, should help you out. So it's Doge@mail@house.gov.
Okay.
So Doge@mail.house.gov. So I'm Mark from Twitter, so I go by Mark from West Hartford or Mark34375. I want to, put that up there. But I want to encourage people to email the caucus, because if enough people say something, they're going to look into it. I believe that some people probably use that money in a criminal fashion, meaning they stole it and used it for what it wasn't intended for.
There's a lot of that going on, and I think, look, this is one of the biggest scandals that everyone is trying to dispel, is this Politico story. The New York Times isn't coming forward and denying it either. By the way, nobody is denying it. And I thought that was interesting that John Kennedy, Senator of Louisiana, came out and said that all of the things that Elon has been revealing and posting on X, no Democrat who is standing out there in the street screaming at the top of their lungs has once denied anything that he's revealed. Yet they are still screaming like a bunch of madmen or mad women. And it's right. I think the scariest part about it is what we're finding with this money, what this money is. One, I know that there are kickbacks because, again, nobody would be ranting and raving for 1% of our federal government funds. Nobody would be screaming this loud, okay? It is giving too much attention to something that's minuscule. Because if anything, just leave it alone. And I think what you're talking about is right over the target. They're screaming this loud because somebody's dirty.
Yeah, but here we got that upset with the money's going outside the United States. That's why I believe the ARPA should be even on a more personal note. This was money intended for Americans. You know, it's bad enough they did what they did. Obviously, we can listen. That list is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And maybe our list isn't going to be that dramatic. And maybe you're going to find our local politicos, meaning local media. Maybe they grab some of
Hey, how about this one, though, Mark?
How about local media grabbing ARPA money? Do
Hey,
you believe we'll find it?
That's
if
right.
You went looking?
But here's the thing. Here's the interesting part about that money that's going overseas before we go to break. If you send money to Guatemala, Guatemala isn't filing American taxes. So who do we know is skimming off the top? They could have received $600 million, but we don't think that they really received all $600 million, do we? Let's take a break. Thank you, Mark. Let's take a break. Let's get into our first check of the traffic with our good friend Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. How we doing, buddy?
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, we do have an accident 91 northbound on Rocky Hill, and that's between exit 23 and 24 left, and left center lanes are blocked. Stay to the right there. A little bit of a delay behind that. Once you get around that, easy ride, Hartford up into Windsor. South of 91's okay. Windsor down into Cromwell, both sides of 84. So far doing well. Farmington out into Vernon. 291, 384 okay. 2 eastbound moving well. Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown, 9 in the Aragoni Bridge. We're okay in Waterbury, 84 to 891 of the Parkway. A good ride heading down in toward New Haven. Now, we do have a road closure in Litchfield. Route 8 southbound is shut down at exit 46 because of an accident between 46 and 44 that's involving a tractor trailer. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
Join us this Sunday for Tumulo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father and son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch the replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumulo Financial Retirement Planning with Integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, the rest of our Thursday afternoon, we'll get some areas of freezing drizzle with 3 to 6 inches storm total snowfall by the time it's all said and done. The high of 34 today. Becoming clear tonight, the low dropping down to 31. Then windy with a mix of clouds and sun as we make our way into Friday. The high of 37. Going to feel a lot colder with that strong, cold west-northwest wind. Then Saturday, increasing clouds, quiet during the day, but deteriorating travel conditions at night, the high 35. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
4 o'clock, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. After today's messy mix of snow and freezing rain, Connecticut's girding itself for the potential of at least 2 more rounds over the weekend and another next week. Crews spending the better part of today treating state and local roads. Got a bit of a break with the vast majority of Connecticut school districts closing for the day. A federal judge in Seattle has blocked President Trump's order banning birthright citizenship. Washington's Nick Brown was one of many other attorneys general who'd sued to block the order.
The United States government cannot take any action to enforce or implement the executive order that was issued by the president, and we will see what next steps the United States tries to take. But for now, the law remains, and we'll be subject to the court's further rulings.
The judge called birthright citizenship a fundamental constitutional right. Federal workers have more time to consider a proposed buyout offer from the president. A judge has temporarily blocked it. Jackie Simon is with the American Federation of Government Employees.
It's a very, very bad deal for the employee under certain circumstances.
More from the White House and correspondent Linda Kenyon.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says many federal workers are embracing the offer.
The last time I checked in with Office of Personnel and Management, there was more than 40,000 individuals, federal workers, who had accepted the buyout program.
Leavitt says the plan will cut government spending.
It's going to save the American people tens of millions of dollars, and we encourage federal workers in this city to accept the very generous offer.
A federal judge has scheduled a hearing for Monday and told the administration it must extend the deadline for workers to apply for the program. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Superintendent of the company overseeing repairs to crumbling home foundations in Connecticut says he wants to be out of business in 5 years. Mike Maglaris says that'll mean they completed their decade-plus-old mission successfully. Maglaris, in speaking before the Crumbling Foundations Caucus today, said a final infusion of $100 million spread out over 4 years should do it.
We've estimated that between now, literally today, and the end of our known funding stream on June 30 of 30, we'll get between 585 and 866 new applications in the top 20 towns.
Thousands of homeowners, primarily from eastern Connecticut, saw their foundations begin to crumble due to defective concrete. Governor Lamont says too many Connecticut residents are having to skip much-needed prescription drugs due to their cost. His proposal for lawmakers would let patients claim low-cost drug purchases toward their deductible. State Controller Sean Scanlon says the plan would also limit price increases for generic and off-patent drugs.
As the Attorney General has worked on, there's quite a bit of collusion happening right now with the generic drug makers. By capping the price of generic drugs, we can ensure that everybody in the state pays a reasonable amount of money for a drug that long ago came off a patent.
The state would also consider importing prescription drugs from Canada. In the meantime, Scanlon and the governor are reminding the public of the state's membership in the Array RX drug program. Cards are available at arrayrxcard.com. Largest teachers union in the state says it's not totally thrilled with Governor Lamont's proposals for the next 2-year state budget, including $160 million to be put toward education when the CEA says $545 million is more like it. But President Kate Diaz says matters could be worse. The state could be considering cuts.
At least we're starting from a status quo and talking about how to continue to improve the situation. So this ain't over till, the gavel falls in June. And so we're going to continue to advocate and make the case for the improvements that we know will make a difference to the children in Connecticut.
Closing bell report sponsored by Bouvier Insurance. Dow down 125 points. NASDAQ up 99. S&P up 22 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Are you tired of TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 16, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online, .com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
Do I look that stupid? Yes, you do. You got to go to ReseOnTheRadio.com. That's ReseOnTheRadio.com to see the stupidest thing I read today. And there are plenty of them there. They're old ones, very, very old ones from when we started. This one takes the cake. Only because I can't believe anybody would say, I think we've reached that point in the world where nothing surprises me. But the president of Colombia, Gustavo Petro, he is quoted in CBS News today, and you have to go to ReseOnTheRadio.com to read the article. But he says that cocaine is no worse than whiskey. Of course, he's the Colombian president. And I think he is trying to legalize or to normalize the use of cocaine. He wants it to be sold like wine. But to read the story, you can go to reeseontheradio.com to find the link. Look, I do it so you don't have to. But if you're just in a interesting story, that's it right there. But I have a bonus for you. I have another bonus stupid thing. And, okay, I'm going to deputize. I guess that's the best way to put it. I'm going to deputize you, nutmeggers, because I think this is important for you. Now, if I could be there, trust me, I would be there with you, but it happens in 2 days. And this is called the Citizen Meeting at 12 p.m., February 8th, at the Duffy Elementary School in West Hartford. Are you familiar with this? Apparently, Senator Chris Murphy and Richard Blumenthal are going to be there to talk about defending our communities and responding to Trump's illegal power grab. Now, clearly, this is not a free-for-all. He will not sit there and talk to people who are of opposing viewpoints. But I think you should get there and record this. I'm interested to find out if he'll allow recording devices. But we'll talk about it in a little bit and see if we can get some people down there to at least find out what all of this defending our communities is really about. It's clearly not defending them from illegals. Let's get another check of the traffic with Mark Christopher at the BPS Traffic Center, defending you from lateness. Hey, Mark.
All right. Thank you very much, Reese. If you are heading into Hartford right now, 91 northbound, look for slow traffic now as you approach exit 23 in Rocky Hill. We have an accident between exit 23 and 24. The left and left center lane.
Hey, man, cocaine is only actually 21.2% of all drug overdose deaths.
Windsor into Hartford.
That's a lot!
Slow on the southbound.
Opioids is 67, so.
Oh, geez.
24 and 23, I'm assuming they are rough.
And alcohol is more than all drugs combined.
Okay, yes, but the truth of the matter is that the reason why cocaine is only 22% because it's an expensive drug.
Quiet Waterbury. We have
Hey, you got to pay to play.
8 South is shut down at exit 46. The accident occurred between 46 and 44, and it involves a tractor trailer. If you are heading down in toward New Haven, 91 and the Parkway, both doing very well. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For tonight, becoming clear, the low down to 31. Then Friday, windy with a mix of clouds and sunshine, the high 37. Friday night, clouds break some. The low goes down to 20 degrees, and the winds will lighten up for us, too. Now, Saturday, increasing clouds, deteriorating travel conditions for us at night. The high 35 during the day. We'll get 3 to 6 inches of snow quickly Saturday night. So, again, rapidly deteriorating road conditions. The low down to 27. On Sunday, periods of snow and sleet ending in the morning with little or no additional accumulation, then increasing sun during the day, the high 34. Currently, it is 33 in New Haven. It's 35 in Danbury, 27 in Bristol, and 27 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hi, this is Eric Hogarth from Money Wisdom.
Michael B. said, tell Roland that weed has 0 deaths.
Of taxes. Care. The Money Wisdom, Saturdays at 8:30 on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Tom Shattuck. Hence why it's legalized.
Yeah.
And food, the exact scenario Awaken 180 was built for. Why? Because you eat to lose weight. Yes, you eat to lose weight. Do it once. Enjoy the process. Then receive free support for life. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Eggland's Best. The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition, available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Connecticut hospitals care for more than just patients. They care for our workforce, creating 245,000 jobs. They care for our economy as the largest employer in Connecticut. They care for our communities, connecting residents to health screenings, nutritious food, and stable housing. And they care for our future, making healthcare accessible, equitable, and affordable. Connecticut hospitals create real change by caring for Connecticut. Learn more at caringforct.org.
Attention! Have you
$1 minute.
$1,000 or more in credit card debt?
Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs.
You know, during Tom's show, first of all, I was filling in format, and the F-bomb was said, and I didn't hear it.
Options may reduce a large portion.
Yeah.
For those who qualify.
Why somebody called Sal Haney and told him?
Out a consolidation.
No,
loan,
they
and you
did.
may only
Yeah.
fraction of what you owe.
That's horrible.
I was like, wow. People are really snitching like that.
Yeah,
Credit card debt for more than
that's what they do all day.
550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe 10, 20, or even
So then then Janine had to get notified, then the legal team had to get notified.
relief as
This is crazy.
continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-885.
I was like, I wasn't even supposed to be here right now. The hell?
Again, that's
Here we go.
885-1010.
President of the Chris Murphy Fan Club, Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Yeah, don't forget, if you forgot my little segment called Everybody Hates Chris, you're going to love that when we bring it back. I might play it again. I'll probably play it twice a week, but I'm going to do it once a week, like once at the beginning of the week, once at the end of the week for anybody who misses it. But we'll get to your phone calls in a second, but I want to post this at least on the Facebook page so you can see it yourself. But Senator Chris Murphy, along with Senator Richard Blumenthal, and you can see right here, if you're looking at it on ReeseOnRadio.com, you see Senator Murphy's name in big, bold letters, and then he puts, with Senator Dick Blumenthal. It says, defending our communities, responding to Trump's illegal power grab. What are you talking about? Defending your communities, Donald Trump's defending them from what? You mean Donald Trump bringing Tom Homan into the communities to get rid of illegals? Is that what this is about? Well, my question is, what exactly are you going to do at this meeting? And I think you should go. You might find the interesting part there is that it's asking folks to RSVP because you can't just come in. And it's got the little, tinyurl.com/EC. Is that ECM? ECM-2025. Most ridiculous URL I've ever heard in my entire life. But that's where you have to RSVP in order to get in, which pretty much means all of his people are going to get in first, and you are going to try to have the vie to get in there. I suggest you do it as soon as possible to see if you could get in and see what it's all about. Now, if I know Chris Murphy and Dick Blumenthal, it's just them going to be there bloviating about what it is they need to do and how they need your help. I don't think it's going to be a question and answer period. And if it is, I don't think they'll be able to take a tough one. But I'd like to ask you, if you don't know about it, you know now, see if you can get in there. Because again, this is something you need to know. They are doing their work on your behalf. All of your behalf. Whether or not you're Democrat or Republican or Independent or Libertarian. You should know what's going on in this meeting. He's publicizing it, and I know he's trying to keep it private for the obvious reasons, because he's a chicken, and he's too scared to actually have someone ask him a tough question that he knows he can't answer. Dick Blumenthal, too. Everybody knows that they're scared to death of somebody asking them a question that they have to actually answer. So I'm just letting you know about it, and I think it's important that you go. They're advertising it. You should be there. Okay? Now, to the phones we go. Let's go to Fulton, who's in Waterbury. How you doing, Fulton? Long time no hear.
What's going on? How you doing today, Reese?
Pretty good, sir. What's up?
I think so. Why doesn't anybody just ask Chris Murphy? Okay, you want to take USA? Okay, where you want to go?
You're breaking up badly. Hold on, Fulton. You break. Hold on. Fulton. Fulton. Gosh, he can't even hear me. That's how bad it is. Okay, I gotta hopefully he can hear me. Fulton, just try to get into a solid area because you're breaking up a lot. I want to get you on. Okay, I'll be right back to you. Let's go to Dave in Branford. How we doing, sir?
Yeah, how you doing, Reese? On a somewhat adjacent topic, Black History Month and book banning at the public library. Because it's Black History Month, my library has got on a rotating carousel a selection of interesting books about Black topics and Black authors.
Okay.
And surprise, surprise, they're all the traditional leftist viewpoint, James Baldwin, Ta-Nehisi Coates, that, what is it, Ebron X. Condi.
Yeah.
Who's the lady, the lady who ran for governor in Georgia? I've spacing out on her name.
Oh gosh, why am I forgetting her name?
Okay. So she wrote a book. They had that book. Now, here's the thing.
Yes.
My heroes, my personal heroes.
Stacey Abrams, by the way.
Stacey Abrams. No books by Tom Sowell, who's still alive. He's in his 90s, I believe. Walter Williams, who's passed. No books by Colin Powell, who was a good conservative up until the era of Trump. And then he changed.
Up until the era of Obama. That was when he switched.
Is that when he changed?
Yep.
But to me, I thought he did good work. He was a hero. I liked him. And so a book I was interested in particularly, the lieutenant governor in Virginia, Governor Youngkin's lieutenant governor.
Yes.
The black woman.
Yes. Her name. Yes. Winsome. Yes.
Earl Sears is her name.
That's
she wrote
correct.
a book published in 2023. How sweet it is.
Yep.
I can't get that book from the interlibrary lending system from my library.
Wow.
Nobody wants to cover that book. The Daughter of Jamaican Immigrants. We have been shadow banned, the conservative books. Now we'll move over to the larger issue of book banning. My library has no books by Rush Limbaugh or Milton Friedman or Colin Powell. They do have the book, and I can't remember the senator from Minnesota's name. His book title, he worked for Saturday Night Live as a comedy writer. His book was Rush Limbaugh is a Big Fat Idiot.
Yes, I remember that.
Book.
Oh, that's the Al Franken guy.
Al Franken is exactly, and he was a senator, and he had to resign because he got caught feeling up a sleeping woman. As
Yes,
I recall.
you are so on point.
What a weirdo! And so the book banning, there's much about our party. The Republicans want to ban the gender pornography. The gender queer and flamer books, and yet the books I might be interested in, like Little Black Sambo, written by an author Bannerman, and the Dr. Seuss books. A Day at the Zoo with cultural stereotypes. They're not in the library, so our books are banned, but nobody says it out loud.
But Dave, let me ask you this, and I think that how you answer this is going to be instructive for people in the black and gay community who often make the complaint about book banning. Let me ask you. It is clear that there's a book banning effort on these books and these authors, as you just displayed. Will that deter you or anyone in your family from learning about those authors or those books? Because they will not. Will that deter you? Yes or no?
Not me personally, but
that's right.
Reese, I still read. I'm an old poop in my 70s. I still read newspapers, magazines, and books.
But if you had children, and those books were banned, would that eliminate any opportunity for your children or your grandchildren to learn?
I request the books on interlibrary loan, and it takes a week, but they come in, and I get to read them and turn them back in. For instance, RFK's book on Anthony Fauci, which came out right at the height of the pandemic. My library never got the book in, which was a very good scientific type, when Robert Kennedy was talking about Anthony Fauci's fraud about HIV and COVID. That was a terrific book. But I had to request it from interlibrary loan because my library wouldn't have it. But
the point that I'm trying to make here is, and I get the complaint, is that, look, we're making the evidence or bearing the evidence out that these libraries refuse to put these books out for people to read, which is selective, which again shows the hypocrisy in all of this, screaming and hollering about, oh, you guys are banning books. Yeah, join the club. Because we never, ever get the books that we want on conservative sides, and you guys are absolutely blatant about keeping those authors and books off the shelves. But what do? We don't complain. We just order the books ourselves and make sure that they come into our house. If not, we just buy them. So we're not waiting for somebody else. Yeah.
You get it. That's why I like listening to you. Thank you for letting me on.
My pleasure, sir. My pleasure. So, and again, that's the whole point of it all. Now let's try Fulton again. Fulton, how about now?
All right, I'm going to try again.
Beautiful. I apologize, sir. For some odd reason, you were just completely breaking up, man.
My fault. There were so many towers, so I couldn't pick up the right tower because there's 100 towers.
What do you got for me, sir?
So Chris Murphy. Why don't we hold his feet to the fire and ask him, if you're taking a stand outside the building, what programs do you like out of there? Do you like the transgender Peru comic book? You like the tell me what benefits us, which ones you produce, sir.
That's
like,
right.
That's all I'd say.
But
You
yeah,
understand
but
about what you did,
remember,
right? Like,
Chris
that's fair
Murphy
enough.
is only going into two places, Fulton. He goes to two places. He's out there with a microphone or a bullhorn, and then he goes over to MSNBC, who he knows is never going to ask him about those things. So he's not going to go to any.
That's what I mean. Like, that's what we have to do. We have to actually call his office and say, what programs did you like out of it? Tell me. So I know. And explain them to me. Because I'm not as smart as you, obviously. I don't understand them.
Try this on for size. I'll give you. Listen, you want to hear this? Try this on for size. Give me a second. Let's see if we can do this live right now. Here we go. Stay on the phone. Hold on.
Let's see.
We're calling Senator Chris Murphy's D.C. office right now.
Absolutely. You want me to talk? I'll talk.
Oh, no, I got this one. I got this one.
Hi, you have reached the D.C. office of U.S. Senator Chris Murphy. We're sorry we cannot take your call, but if you leave your name, number, and home address, we will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you.
You cannot record a message for Senator Murphy, D.C. main line. This mailbox is full.
See that? So that's the reason why. He's taking no questions. He's doing, again, it's an absolute clown show at his office. He's not taking any calls. He's not answering any questions.
I say Blumenthal doesn't take a stand because he's coming up on election. This guy just won, so we can't even get him out for 5 years.
Exactly. So what we're experiencing is exactly what you'd expect, right? He's going to run opposition to everything and never answer to any of it. He's going to blame it on billionaires. He's going to say that he's standing up for the little guy, but he won't even talk to the little guy.
So my next question is, do you think the divorce thing with all the Democrats that are all coming out that they possibly is due to like protection of assets?
Oh,
like
yeah.
Chris Murphy's assets.
How do you not listen? If you lobbied for $600 million every 2 months to go to Guatemala, and that money turns out to be involved in trafficking, and again, Guatemala doesn't have to file taxes, okay? Guatemala doesn't file U.S. taxes. And please, somebody explain to me how they do. Tell me how they're filing U.S. taxes when they get this money. And if they are, I want to see what those things are. Because the only thing we have is that the money was sent out to these organizations. Who is to say that money or something wasn't skimmed off the top to whomever it was? Exactly. Coming back, because you never have to account for it. You don't, because it's coming from a foreign entity, and it goes into the pockets of
from Guatemala. How do we even know what that's about?
Exactly. As I began the show Tuesday about the guy who used to be my former friend in California, working for the California Black Chamber of Commerce, all of that money that's going in, they haven't filed any taxes since 2022. No taxes have been filed, and they got $1.2 million from the city. $1.2 million, and they haven't filed any taxes. Come on. Give me a break. That's how I know that these people are losing their collective minds, because somebody's going to find out what the kickbacks were and what the amounts were.
So the whole pandemic thing that the guy was just saying in 2019. So there's a thing that I heard. Now, I don't know. I just heard this, so I can't confirm or say it or anything good or bad. Ned Lamont's wife invested in a mask company months before the pandemic and forcing us to buy masks, but we couldn't get masks in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Whoever, what's his name, the Republican went and bought his own mask with his own money and brought him here. But his wife was involved, but we couldn't get him. I don't understand that, but
look, it's always something. Sometimes I get frustrated myself.
Right there, like that seems insider. But if you're buying mask companies for 2 months before you're going to mandate masks, I don't even know.
Exactly. I think you're right on point. Okay, let me move on. But thank you, Fulton. I'm glad you finally got.
Take my call today.
You got it, buddy.
Have a good weekend, buddy.
You too. I'm glad he got an opportunity to go through. Let's go to my good friend Ralph in South Carolina. Ralph.
Right now I'm in Florida, Reese, and I have a question for you, Reese.
Wait a minute. You said you're in Puerto Rico.
Florida.
Oh, you're in Florida. Okay.
A question for you.
What's up?
Sunlight. Is sunlight a great disinfectant?
Oh, it's the greatest disinfectant.
Doesn't have these clowns screaming when the American people are finding out where their money is being swallowed up. And do you remember a senator from New Jersey who was just convicted of having a closet full of cash and gold bars?
Oh, my good friend, Rob Gold Bar Menendez.
Now, do you think Do you think there's any more senators and congressmen that have a room full of gold bars and cash? They're getting kickbacks from all this money, and that includes your buddy, your good friend, Chris Murphy. Blumenthal is worth well over $100 million, but he's just a huge liar, especially when he told the veterans in Connecticut that he was he was in Vietnam.
Listen, what I would rather them be able, Ralph, what I would love for them to tell me is exactly how they earned all of that money. What service did they provide to get all of that money? And if it was all stocks and bonds, how about sharing how you did it with the rest of us who go paycheck to paycheck? That's all I'm saying. I got to go to a break. Ralph, real quick. But yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want to know. I want to know. Look, there's obviously got to be a better way for the rest of us. These people started, thank you, Lori. Insider trading, indeed. These people start off with a $174,000 a year job. Next thing you know, I've got 3 houses. I've got a guy who's calling himself a Democrat socialist. I've got 3 mansions. How the heck is that happening? It seems pretty odd to me. I don't know. It's like Mark Christopher driving a Maybach. Well, traffic. Let's go to Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. What's the fanciest car you drove, Mark?
Me?
Yeah.
I've never had a fancy car.
So, well, you had a chance to even test drive. What's the fanciest one? Have you ever done like a Maserati or even?
No.
Never.
My late friend Mark had a Lamborghini.
Really?
I rode in that once. Yeah.
You rode
that thing coming? Yeah.
He wouldn't let you drive it.
Well, I wouldn't be able to drive it. All I know was an oil change in that car was like $500 or $600.
Woo!
So yeah.
Oh, forget about that. I'd buy a little Matchbox Lamborghini.
Exactly. That's sort of That's sort of where I'm at now. Yeah, I've never been a fancy car guy, so
I hear you, buddy. I hear you.
Well, if I hit lotto, maybe, yeah. But
nah, I'm still buying I'm buying a Plymouth.
All right. All right. Get a Plymouth Duster.
Yeah,
ride that thing into the ground. A 1976 Duster. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, 91 northbound, we have an accident between 23 and exit 24.
No, I'm gonna give me a little Rolls Royce.
Stay to the right there. After
you have to keep renewing the Rolls Royce. Well, you can get one. You get an old Rolls Royce.
A little slow.
It never depreciates.
Rocky Hill between 24 and 23, rubbernecking at that north.
Yeah, I don't want to drive it.
Oh, you just want to keep it.
Just want to look at it. Sit in it.
Middletown. Waterbury's okay, 84 and 8. 91 in the Parkway doing well, heading down in toward New Haven. And a road closure right now in Litchfield. Route 8 southbound shut down at exit 46 because of an accident involving a tractor-trailer 8 southbound between 46 and 44. So that's shut down until further notice. 91 in the Parkway, an easy ride toward New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather. For the rest of our Thursday afternoon, we'll get some areas of freezing drizzle with 3 to 6 inches storm total snowfall by the time it's all said and done. The high of 34 today. Becoming clear tonight, the low dropping down to 31. Then windy with a mix of clouds and sun as we make our way into Friday. The high of 37. Going to feel a lot colder with that strong, cold west-northwest wind. Then Saturday, increasing clouds, quiet during the day, but deteriorating travel conditions at night, the high 35. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
4:30, good afternoon, I'm John Silva. A woman who opened fire on the Bristol Police Department headquarters lobby in October of 2023 has pled guilty. Suzanne LaPrise will be sentenced in April. She shot up the lobby of headquarters that night. Police returned fire, but no one was injured. And again, she'll be in court again in April. Crews spending the day cleaning up from the wintry mess that closed most school districts across the state. They'll have their work cut out for them for the next week or so. Another round of snow due in here Saturday night and potentially more snow by the middle of next week. That has health experts preaching safety. Dr. Justin Cahill at Bridgeport Hospital says leave the snow removal to someone else if you're less physically active. And if you plan to be out for any length of time, dress in layers, wear a hat and gloves. Superintendent of the company assisting residents with crumbling home foundations says a final infusion of $100 million could see an end to the crisis in 5 years. Mike McGlaris made that declaration today at an informational session of the Crumbling Foundations Caucus. A second federal judge in 2 days has blocked President Trump's executive order ending birthright citizenship for the children of parents who are in the U.S. illegally. Another judge has blocked the president's plan to push out federal employees by offering them financial incentives. Several labor unions had requested a temporary restraining order against the plan orchestrated by Trump advisor Elon Musk. Wall Street, the Dow finished down 125 points today. The NASDAQ up 99, S&P up 22. Women's college basketball, number 6 UConn and number 19 Tennessee renew acquaintances tonight. In the NBA, Knicks and Nets are idle. The Celtics are home and nothing doing locally in the NHL. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
A new president is sworn in. America's greatness is being restored. And there's breaking news every minute. Now, tens of millions of Americans are turning off Fox and CNN and tuning in to Newsmax for the breaking information they really need to know. Reuters Institute says Newsmax is one of the top news brands in America. Find it yourself on all major cable systems and on your TV or smartphone store. Just download the Newsmax app for free and start watching. You'll get great shows with Rob Schmidt, Greta Van Susteren, Rob Finnerty, and Carl Higbie, and more. Find out why millions of Americans have made the switch. Even President Trump says Newsmax is terrific, and he's watching. So make the switch to Newsmax. Check us out on cable and satellite TV or download the Newsmax app today. Watch us anytime, anywhere. Remember, Newsmax is real news for real people.
Paid for by government. Now is the time to fill your vault with Morgan Silver Bars. Grab your Silver Legacy with this special offer. These spectacular shining silver bars featuring a crisp image of the iconic Morgan Silver Dollar, a legendary coin that has captivated collectors for generations. Call now to secure 1-ounce silver bars minted in 99.9% pure silver and made in the USA. Don't miss out on this special deal, regularly priced at $49.95, but for a limited time, only $39.95. Save $10 per silver bar. Limit of 25 bars per customer. The more you buy, the more you save. Up to $250 in savings and free shipping on every order. Plus, with qualifying orders, you'll receive a free Morgan Silver Dollar. That's a $59.95 value free. Call 1-800-386-7195 now to secure your 1-ounce silver bars for only $39.95. That's 1-800-386-7195.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We are going to continue to get to your phone, so if you haven't called, get on the lines, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Yeah, I think this Doge thing is going to be really, really cool if we can get more and more of divisions of it throughout the states. You know, in Connecticut, it would work. I know for a fact they would be screaming and hollering here if you were to bring Doge to Connecticut. Oh, these shifty Democrats, they wouldn't want any parts of it. But it's okay. We're going to find out that some money was coming to Connecticut some way, somehow. Maybe a little money went to Ned. Maybe Dick or Chris got a little bit of dough. Who knows? It's quite possible. I mean, we haven't gotten to the end of it yet. There's a lot of stuff to go through. But as far as I'm concerned, we need to get Doge in every area code. I've got Doge. I've got Doge in different area codes. Area code. I've got Doge. I've got Doge. Yeah. In different area codes. Area codes. I'm just saying. We need to get that popping. Get Doge everywhere. So stick around. We're going to get to your phone calls as well. We've got the 5 o'clock focus coming up. Somebody asked me to do something I wasn't really all that fond of. I'll explain it to you in a bit. It's one of the things I hate doing. And I may be asking, I know I'm going to be opening up a powder keg when I start this, because I'm going to hear some things that are, if I get the phone calls I'm expecting to get, and I know some scallywags are going to be in the chat room talking about it, but just be prepared. The 5 o'clock focus is a personal question that I have to bring up. As I always call it, you know why I call it, right? I call it Therapy Thursday for a reason. It's my problem. You deal with it.
Hey, baby, I hear the blues are calling. Toss salads and scrambled eggs. Quite stylish. And maybe I seem a bit confused. Yeah, maybe. But
So I'm going to be asking you how I deal with giving bad news. But stay tuned for the 5 o'clock focus. And don't forget, our sponsor is Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe located in South Windsor, Manchester, and Vernon. And our last but not least caller of the day will get 1 dozen bagels a month for 6 months. And I know everybody missed it. I hope for those of you who I told to get the big bagel bowl that's got like all the meat and bagel chips. Anybody who's ever had bagel chips will never stop eating bagel chips. They are the best thing in the world. Bagels are great, but bagel chips, forget about it. I'm all in for big, because I don't like regular chips. So I really love bagel chips. Let's get into the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Mark, bagel chip fan. And please tell me you've had them before at least.
No.
No?
I mean, no, the unfortunate thing here is there's going to be bagel chip jokes now.
No.
Have bagel jokes, but now there's going to be.
Are you hating on my bagel jokes?
No,
it's okay. Everybody can hate. No. I expect you to hate on them. Do you understand that the bagel joke thing is supposed to be bad on purpose? It's
of course.
Yes, it's a fart joke.
And they are bad. They're very bad.
Thank you.
But I love you, Reese. You know that.
Girl, I know you only like it fancy, so I pull up in that Maybach candy.
Oh, that's a little Maybach song.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen one up close?
No.
I've never seen one up close. I'm still trying to understand what the big deal is. Is it something about the car that I'm missing? Like, why is it a big deal?
It's luxury, man.
That's it?
If you show up with a Maybach candy, you're gonna get the girl every time. That's how that works.
The
Rod.
fanciest car I ever had was my Nissan Altima 3.5 SL. And
there you go.
The worst car I ever had was a yellow Pacer. I had an AMC Pacer. An AMC Pacer.
Oh my
and
God.
Canary yellow AMC Pacer.
If you're under 50 years old, you have no idea what we're talking
about.
Oh,
dude. It looked like it looked like a spaceship and an egg.
Yeah.
And like a hybrid of both.
And you just hope it was kind of like the what was the Ford Pinto? You just hope you didn't get hit.
Exactly. The thing was surrounded by windows.
Yeah. You'd get killed by the glass shattering. Oh my goodness! Wow, that goes way back.
Oh yeah.
Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, we do have a crash. It's 91 northbound. Between exit 23 and 24, left and left center lanes are blocked there. Delays are back to 23. After that, easy ride up into Hartford. Southbound 91, you're losing a little speed as you move between 24 and 23 in Rocky Hill. I'm sure rubbernecking at the crash. Both sides of 84 looking good. Farmington and Vernon. If you are traveling 291, 384, no problems. 2 eastbound's okay. Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. Waterbury's okay. 84 and 8. 91 to the Parkway moving well, heading down in toward New Haven. And we have a road closure, and this is in Litchfield. Route 8 southbound shut down at exit 46 because of a tractor-trailer accident between 46 and 44. That roadway shut down until further notice. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
All right, as we make our way through tonight, it'll become clear. The low down to 31 and windy with a mix of clouds and sun as we head into the day on Friday. The high 37, going to feel like it's down in the 20s with that strong west-northwest wind throughout the day. Saturday, increasing clouds. Expect deteriorating travel conditions at night. The day will be quiet, the high 35, but 3 to 6 inches of snow falling quickly Saturday night. It's going to lead to rapidly deteriorating road conditions. The low down to 27. On Sunday, periods of snow and sleet ending in the morning with little or no additional accumulation, so a storm total of 3 to 6 inches, and then increasing sun as the day wears on, the high of 34 for us on Sunday. Right now, 32 in Waterbury, 34 in Mansfield, 27 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
For quality vinyl siding, the Peter L. Brown Company is your best choice. It's winter, and we need to keep our crews busy, so ask us about our winter specials. Please visit peterlbrown.com for roofing, siding, windows, and doors.
I'm Silas Norman. Kidney disease is devastating the Black community. We're more likely to have diabetes and high blood pressure, the leading causes of kidney disease.
I have diabetes.
I have high blood pressure.
And we're more likely to have kidney failure.
My mom
Based
is
in our
on
federal
dialysis.
government, and we're
Black people are
uncovering
4
new,
times more likely to be on dialysis, yet we're less likely than other groups to get a kidney transplant. As Dr. Silas Norman, a kidney transplant physician, I can tell you that 90% of people with kidney disease don't know they have it. And every day, about 12 people die waiting for a kidney transplant. But kidney failure is often preventable. Talk to your doctor about your risk for kidney disease. Insist on getting your kidneys checked regularly, especially if you have diabetes or high blood pressure.
We're the American Kidney Fund. We believe in kidney health for all. Visit kidneyhealthforall.org. That's kidneyhealthforall.org.
Traffic on I-84 in Hartford keeps on moving slower, but at Columbia Implant Center, we're only getting faster, providing you with specialist care assisted by cutting-edge technology. 1 day, same day, 7 days a week. Visit ColumbiaImplantCenter.com.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guaranteed details at TurboTax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Odyssey celebrates
Black History Month.
Black History Month.
You better learn about it.
Shirley Chisholm, who in 1968 became the first black woman to be elected to the U.S. Congress, once said,
If they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair.
Black voices shaped history. For more moments like this, music, and podcasts that matter, go to Odyssey.com/Black History Month or download the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY. Odyssey.
Brought to you with pride by University of Bridgeport. You belong at University of Bridgeport.
Seems everything costs more these days.
1 minute.
Groceries? And when's the last time you checked your wireless
That was interesting.
bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying...
What was interesting?
Here's how to
The
get
last
same
commercial.
fast, reliable nationwide coverage.
Oh, that's our Black History Month
Uh-huh.
programs.
And that's not a short-term promo. Our U.S.-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you, and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, and new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
The self-proclaimed love child of Rush Limbaugh.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
And we are back, folks. Don't forget, please be here for Monday's program where we are going to be doing Keeping It 100 with WTIC. Our birthday is Monday. WTIC, it is 100 years on air, a milestone. They can't get rid of us now. We're a century. We're a landmark. We are the fabric of Connecticut, the nutmeg state. Okay, and I do have to ask, because we ran a Black History Month promo on the West End. Do we know whether or not Reese on the radio is the first black host, or at least what number black host I am on WTIC? I remember when I was in Boston, I was the first black host in talk radio in Boston. And if I could be the first black talk show host in Connecticut, oh, what the hell? I could be a fabric of Black History Month. I could be up there with greats, you know? Like the guy who invented Kwanzaa. I'm totally kidding. Strike that entirely. I swear. Sometimes I go too far. I apologize. I'm working on it. Let's go back to the phones. 860-522-WTIC. John's in Meriden. How are you, John?
Very well, thank you, sir. How are you?
I'm all right, sir. And your lovely wife, how's she?
Oh, she's wonderful, and that's what I'm calling about.
Sure.
Murphy and Blumenthal know exactly what the problem is. My wife is a veteran. She has a flag on her license. She has a DD-214 on file at City Hall.
Ooh.
She is entitled to nothing.
Wow.
Because she is known as a peacetime soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she was trained and ready to go, she was Army National Guard here in Connecticut, 143rd Military MP.
All right.
And she has a 0 on her DD-14 for active duty.
Okay.
But she was ready to go. But there was no disasters in Connecticut and no military where Uncle Sam needed her.
Mm-hmm.
She is one of thousands and thousands of peacetime veterans.
Yes.
Who are entitled. She cannot even go, Reese, to the veteran cemetery and lie next to me.
Really?
She has to lie on top of me or on the bottom of me, whoever goes first, and her military information goes on the back of my tombstone.
Really?
This is not right.
That
and
isn't
it
right.
takes an act of Congress to fix it. And Murphy and Blumenthal are well aware.
Now that's okay. I'm not. Listen, and that's a national thing. That's not just the state of Connecticut, John.
No, it is national.
I've never known that.
But military, Blumenthal and Murphy can help lead the fight to fix it.
Yeah, I don't think, you know what, as last rites, I think that is a small ask from veterans in this country, is that for at least for especially someone who served, just because she was a peacetime service member means that she did not serve and she was ready to go. She did volunteer. It is a well, wait a minute, was she drafted or volunteered?
No, she's a volunteer.
Yeah, that's without a doubt. Yeah, you're 100% right.
If you look it up, she is known and thousands of others, and we say no veteran left behind.
Wow.
And how sadly is it that these veterans, known as peacetime veterans, are left behind?
Yeah, that's not cool at all. Wow, I never knew that. My wife and I were just talking about that about a month ago. About, I think she had suggested something about being buried in Arlington, and I remember saying to her, I was like, oh, I'm not sure about that. I almost feel like I would be dishonoring, being in there because I had not served, although I've come from a military family. That's a good, interesting point. Do you mind if I look into that a little more, John? Oh, sorry, we lost him.
You can do whatever you want to do,
John,
but we need to do this.
I'm gonna look further into it. My wife is actually looking for a project, and if this is indeed true, this is something I know that she will lock horns with when it comes to the military. So thank you, John. I appreciate you letting me know about that.
You're welcome, and have your wife look up peacetime soldiers.
I definitely will. I will. Thank you.
They count for nothing.
Wow. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. Let me go to Fred, who's in Middletown. How are we doing, sir?
Hey, well, by way of a segue, what the gentleman described may have been wrong, but it also sounded very efficient.
Okay.
I mean, two sides of the stone, and, verticality. I mean, they were betrothed.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, that makes all the sense.
So wait a minute. So there may be a flaw in what he's saying?
Well, I said he may, there may be some outrage to honor manifested in it, right? But it's also reeks of efficiency. We've got a story going on here in Middletown where they found out 24 hours before the bulldozers were going to show up, and they, had a meeting and I assume stopped it, held it off. But where the one of a few, I guess the main, maybe there's just one military cemetery, big one, and it was going to expand like right up to your back door.
Wow.
And well, we need the room, and it's like, okay, so yeah, they're the living sacrificing for the dead, and yeah, I don't know like how much space there is.
Well, it says here, and this is just, I guess, a quick search. I've not gone any further, but it says peacetime soldiers may be eligible for military burial benefits. These benefits may include burial in a VA national cemetery or government headstone or marker, a burial flag, and a presidential memorial certificate. Eligibility criteria may include service during wartime and minimal continuous service periods. So it looks like there may be some situations where if you're a peacetime veteran, you may not be able to get the full.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure, all the military is nothing if not random. About your wife, I understand, like, you got to, be somebody pretty special to get into Arlington. Again, that's like prime real estate.
I know. That's why I said when I heard that, I was just going, I don't know if I don't, because Arlington to me, again, being from a military background, I've got all of my aunts and uncles, my grandmother and my grandfather. I was raised that you can call it indoctrination. I don't have a problem with that. But again, their service means a great deal to me. And even though I didn't get along with my grandmother, I respect her service. And my aunt and uncle's the same way. So for somebody to say to me, it's like, oh, we could be buried in Arlington. My first view was just like, I don't know if I belong there. Because to me, that's like a VIP, that I didn't earn.
I mean, if they offer it. But real quick, I would quote the Bible, which, of course, says everything in the opposite. Let the dead bury the dead. I was originally called about the Nuremberg Code violations. That was the whole COVID thing.
Yeah.
I believe the Republicans could well be said to have stood down for the whole thing. They didn't get in the way. And of
that's
course,
true.
He's a talk show host, not a politician, but Ben Shapiro was so pro-vax. And I mean,
was he?
Brilliant, clever. Oh, yeah, dude. Let me paraphrase him. Brilliant, clever bastard that he is, he would say, if you're vaccinated, there's no need to wear a mask. Well, there's no need to be vaccinated. There's no need to wear a mask. But yeah, and then he was like the last one to jump off of that little merry-go-round. And as my girl Shannon Joy pointed out, he did it because he had to, not because he wanted to. Yeah, he's a farmer horse.
Yeah, yeah. I thought that was, if that is, I would love to hear that. I always thought that was interesting. Have I ever told you the story about the I was doing a moving job for a woman, and we were worried about being essential workers. But anyway, I go to Sterling, Virginia to go to this woman's house, black woman, and she was very nice when I get to the door. And of course, she has a mask on. I'm not wearing a mask, and I'm not vaccinated. But I come to the door, and she says to me, she goes, oh, you're not wearing a mask. I said, well, ma'am, we spoke before I got here. You didn't tell me I was required to wear one. And she was like, oh, yeah, I really need you to wear a mask. I said, okay, fine. So just this entry, but I will not work with a mask on. I'm moving heavy stuff. And she goes, no, that's fine. And she goes, and then as I'm about to walk in, she says, are you vaccinated? And I went, I'm sorry? She goes, yeah, are you vaccinated? And I stopped and I looked her right in the face and I said, I don't know. Have you ever had an abortion? And she was completely.
Yeah, I was going to say HIPAA.
Yeah, she lost her mind. She was like, how dare you ask me that? I was like, ma'am, you can't ask me about my medical. Yeah, I was like, you can't ask me about my medical history if I've ever. Why don't you ask me if I've ever had HIV? Like, what is wrong with you?
You didn't waste that opportunity, so how did it play out?
No. No. She immediately backed down when she realized. It was like, yes, I can't ask you whether or not you've ever been vaccinated. I can't ask you about that. So she backed off and she was just like, and she let me go. We did the job and everything was cool. She just didn't tip. She did not tip.
Oh, and one last thing.
Yes.
If they got Jimmy Baldwin in Dave's library there,
Yeah.
I actually haven't read most of his stuff, but I read The Fire Next Time as it originally appeared in the New Yorker on the 50th anniversary of it or something.
That's right.
And that was some great stuff. We'll call him a lefty if you will. But
yeah, he was a lefty. I read one of his books and I was just like, ugh, never mind. Thank you, Fred. I appreciate you, sir. Let's go. Let's go to Ross, who's in Hartford. How we doing, Ross?
We're doing great. I was listening to the gentleman just before me here, and he kind of answered about being buried in a military cemetery.
Yes.
My father and my mother were both buried in Arlington over the past 5 years. My mother dying first, buried, and then my father buried on top of her 2 years later. So it's been about 3 years, and they wouldn't let him in unless they looked his record up from World War II, and they saw that he had medals and so on right off the bat, Purple Hearts, and so that's the only reason he got buried there, because they have a limited amount of room, and that's why they're stacking him up. And the same thing goes with any military cemetery. They're going to be full, and a lot faster if they put people side by side. And they want Arlington to be available for hundreds of years more. So
Right. So they do
changed
stack
up
them on.
everything.
They do stack them on top, and then they just put the. So in essence, it's not done disrespectfully. It's just done because of room.
No.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Well,
Right.
it's interesting to know. It's interesting to know. Like I said, that's the first time I've ever heard a complaint about it. I just didn't know how it operated there. I just never known.
Right.
So
and it takes about 6 months to be buried in Arlington, to 8 months.
Wow.
And so there's an expense on holding the body
Right.
and everything else. So
Can I presume something? Can I presume something that you can clear up for me? Do World War II veterans take precedent?
I don't know.
Okay.
The main thing is they will not bury a private anymore in
Really?
Arlington unless they have credentials, something in their records to show they were exemplary. And
Gotcha.
my father did.
Wow.
My father did. So he, I guess he saved a refugee train out of China.
Oh.
Because he was only 3-4 months into the war, and it ended in the South Pacific. And then they shipped him off to China to help.
Ross, let me go. I got to go to a hard break, but thank you for your call. Thank you for clearing that up for me.
I have a question.
What? I got to get rid of him. I'm sorry. All right. Let's go to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Sorry about that, Mark.
No problem, Reese. Thank you. If you're heading into Hartford right now, 91 northbound, got that crash between exit 23 and 24. The two left lanes are blocked there. You'll see delays back to exit 23 behind that. Once you get around that, good ride Hartford up into Windsor. Southbound 91 just moving very well. Windsor down into Cromwell. Both sides of 84 in great shape. Farmington out into Vernon. 291, 384 okay east of the river. 2 eastbounds moving well. Glastonbury into Marlboro. Heading toward Middletown. 9 in the Aragoni Bridge doing okay. Waterbury's looking good, 84 and 8. And we do have a road closure right now up in Litchfield. Route 8 southbound is shut down.
All right, phone lines are
at
open,
exit
guys.
46 in Litchfield because of a tractor-trailer accident between 46 and 44. So that roadway shut down until further notice. And heading down in toward New Haven, it looks good. 91 in the Parkway, no issues there. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, the rest of our Thursday afternoon, we'll get some areas of freezing drizzle with 3 to 6 inches storm total snowfall by the time it's all said and done. The high of 34 today. Becoming clear tonight, the low dropping down to 31. Then windy with a mix of clouds and sun as we make our way into Friday. The high of 37. Going to feel a lot colder with that strong, cold west-northwest wind. Then Saturday, increasing clouds, quiet during the day, but deteriorating travel conditions at night. The high 35. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It's 5 o'clock, Hartford temperature 27 degrees. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Winter hasn't had a whole lot, Connecticut hasn't had a whole lot of winter so far this season, but that seems to be changing with several forecasted snow and ice events over the next week or so. Doctors see several issues this time of year, mainly heart attacks, broken bones from slips and falls, and hypothermia, just to name a few. Dr. Justin Cahill, the chair of emergency medicine at Bridgeport Hospital, says if you're older or don't exercise much, leave the snow shoveling to someone else.
It's very intensive exercise. And for people who don't exercise regularly or somewhat older, we do see an increased number of heart attacks from shoveling snow.
Now, he says common symptoms can include shortness of breath or sudden fatigue. On another front, Cahill says never stick your hand in a snowblower when it becomes clogged or if it becomes clogged. Rather use a broom handle or a stick, perhaps, to clear it out. Woman accused of firing a gun at the Bristol Police Department in 2023 has pled guilty. 52-year-old Suzanne LaPrise will be sentenced later this year. It was October 6th, 2023, when LaPrise opened fire in the lobby of headquarters. Officers returned fire, but there were no injuries. That shooting came a year after 2 Bristol officers were killed in an ambush, and a third was wounded. In a statement, Bristol Police Chief Mark Morello said the department is satisfied with the resolution of the case and praised what he called the heroic actions of our officers that night, adding they prevented serious injury to themselves or the shooter. The Inspector General later ruled the police officers were justified in discharging their weapons that night. Saying too many patients are skipping treatments because of their cost, Governor Lamont is proposing several ways to cut prescription drug prices. One part of the plan would limit price increases for generic and off-patent drugs to the rate of inflation.
Once you got your rate of return on while your drug was on patent, and you know what that was, and FDA approved it, and you went in knowing what the rules of the road are, it's just no fair to bilk our folks at the pharmacy for those generic drugs.
The proposal would let patients claim the cost of low-cost drug purchases toward their deductible. The state would also consider importing prescription drugs from Canada. This word today from the superintendent of the company assisting those residents with crumbling home foundations.
I see the end in sight.
Mike McGlaris, superintendent of CIFSIC, the Connecticut Foundation Solutions Indemnity Company. He says he'll need a final infusion of $100 million to claim success.
If we get $100 million more, 4 more installments of 25, I will lick this crisis. I will fold the tent of this insurance company. Most likely it's in the summer of 31. And we will have this company done and over with and the crisis put to bed.
McGlaris says there's still several hundred homes that are or will be impacted going forward. The legislature will ultimately have to vote on a measure to approve that final round of funding. Trump administration's border chief says the effort to crack down on illegal immigration is making a big difference.
Tom Homan says arrests are up.
Arrests are right around over 11,000 so far since day one.
And the arrests at the border, he says, are way down. As for housing the migrants at Guantanamo Bay,
we've had a migrant processing center at Gitmo for decades, so we're increasing our footprint there. It makes sense.
Adding the initial focus is on housing criminals at Gitmo and then the others who are in the country illegally.
If you're in the country illegally, you're not off the table.
Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Wall Street, the Dow finished down 125 points today. The NASDAQ gained 99 and the S&P was up 22. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
A successful retirement just happened. It requires a plan that is custom built to suit everyone's individual financial situation. Every Saturday at 3, we share vital information on how to build and live a successful retirement. It's On the Money with Jay Dorso. Retirement strategies on building income and proper protection from the pitfalls and the latest news in the retirement universe. On the Money with Jay Dorso, 3 p.m. this Saturday on WTIC News Talk 1080.
I'm elder law attorney Haley O'Lear. Our greatest reward is happy clients telling us that they're very thankful for our help.
Hi, I'm Kate from Farmington. My husband had a stroke a year ago. I worked with a wonderful team of people that helped me rewrite my will and navigate the Medicaid application. They even came to our home to meet us, understand our needs, and connect us with a healthcare agency.
Find out more at AlairElderLaw.com. That's
Here we go.
Laire.
It's the 5 o'clock focus. It's the 5 o'clock focus.
I'm focused, man. It's Reese on the radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC, 5 o'clock focus. Okay. If there's, you probably remember a long time ago, I talked about how my wife doesn't communicate or her family doesn't communicate well. And my ex-wife, they couldn't communicate. They couldn't even tell their nephew and grandson that he had a body odor problem. And I've never been the person to deliver bad news, but I'm always chosen. And I don't like it. Everyone always says, like, if it's bad news, everybody goes, Reese, you tell them. And I have a feeling that the reason why they asked me to tell is because they think that I have no feelings, that I'm very coarse. You know, like I'm the one that can deliver that bad stuff because I'm not invested in any way. Roland, did you ever have to sort of deliver bad news to someone? Did you ever picked or had to be the person to deliver, like, hey, buddy, your dog died? Or have you ever had to deliver something like that traumatizing to a person?
Sure.
You have. Do you revel in that, or are you apprehensive, or do you just do it? Like, it doesn't faze you. Are you okay with that?
I don't think nobody wants to deliver bad news.
Of course. But I know nobody wants to, but they always pick me. It's like, hey, man, I need you to deliver some bad news for someone. I'm like, I used to have bosses who used to make me fire people because they couldn't do it on them. It's really bad. They just don't like doing it, and they think that I don't care. So can you tell what the worst news you ever delivered, or is it just too personal?
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to share.
Oh, you're not going to share that one? Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Now I'm even more intrigued. I've had to deliver, like a pet died. I've had to deliver that before. Many, many moons ago. I didn't feel good about it at all. But I just don't like doing that. I don't want to be chosen to. Even if it's like, I can deliver, like if I got fired, from a job, I can just, hey, I got fired. I don't have an issue with that one. Because I don't want to ever have to say to someone like a parent passed away. Like, I don't want to do that. But bad news, do you have an issue delivering it? Are you fine with it? Have you ever been chosen to? And if you can share, tell me some bad news that you had to deliver. Let's go to Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Mark, have you ever had to deliver bad news of any sort? That was like made you uncomfortable, but you had to deliver it? Who's not here yet? Maybe he's not. Maybe
he's pulled up.
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Are you just not answering me?
I'm chilling. No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I was wondering. I said, have you ever had to deliver bad news to someone? Or you ever chosen to deliver bad news? Like your wife had you tell the kids that the goldfish died or something like that.
Well, the hamster died, and I buried it in a shoebox.
Yeah, I'm always pick to bury things.
Yeah, then I ran to the pet store and got another one, but he knew.
He knew.
He goes, that's not the same hamster. I'm like, oh darn.
So
we tried.
So were you the one who had to deliver that? You fabricated the hamster?
Yeah, I think we both eventually owned up to it and said, this. The original. Yeah, the original one didn't make it. So
that is so bad, Mark.
I know. I agree.
I totally appreciate it, though. You're a parent. You tried to.
Cover up a bad situation. Didn't quite work out.
I was going to say spare the child's feelings. That's all.
Exactly. Yeah, we were doing everything we could to avoid a bad situation.
No, it's a noble thing that you tried to. I think every parent would have done it if they could.
Yeah, absolutely. So, oh well. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, it looks good. Both sides of 84, Farmington and Vernon. 91 north to southbound in great shape. Cromwell up into Windsor Locks. 291 through 84, okay. East of the river, 2 eastbound moving well. Glastonbury to Marlboro. If you're heading toward Middletown, no issues there. Waterbury's okay, 84 and 8. Still have the road closure right now in Litchfield, and that's Route 8 southbound. That is shut down right now in Litchfield between exit 46 and 44. Highway shut down at 46 because of a tractor-trailer accident there. If you're heading down in toward New Haven, 91 in the Parkway in good shape. Traffic and weather together on the 8s WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Becoming clear tonight, the low down to 31, then windy with a mix of clouds and sun on Friday. The high 37, going to feel like it's down in the 20s at best with a strong and cold west-northwest wind. Then Saturday, increasing clouds. We'll have deteriorating travel conditions at night. The high 35 during the day, but 3 to 6 inches of snow falling quickly at night, so rapidly deteriorating road conditions. Low down to 27. Then on Sunday, periods of snow and sleet ending in the morning with little or no additional accumulation. So that storm total remains at 3 to 6 inches with increasing amounts of sun during the day and the high of 34 for us on Sunday. Currently 36 in Danbury, 37 in New London, 27 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition, available in so many delicious varieties: classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best, better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Tom Shattuck here. Big game this Sunday, which means parties, libations, and food. The exact scenario Awaken 180 was built for. Why? Because you eat to lose weight. Yes, you eat to lose weight. Do it once. Enjoy the process. Then receive free support for life. Awaken180weightloss.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. Did you know that 1 in 4 people seeking treatment for ED are under 40? So you're not alone. And even better, HIMS. .com/joy. It all starts with an online intake form. From there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. Through HIMS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. Free online visit and save up to 95%. Go to HIMS.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
It's the 5 o'clock focus. It's the 5 o'clock focus.
I'm focused, man. 5 o'clock focus on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. Now, the reason why I said, why am I talking about delivering bad news? Because I have to deliver some bad news. I do. I have to deliver some bad news. And I know it's going to be crazy, but I'm just going to say that this week is going to be the last, and it is. There's a reason for it. Don't get me wrong. Some benchmarks I love, some benchmarks I don't. But the bad news is after Friday, well, after tomorrow, which is the airing of grievances, there will be no more 5 o'clock focus on the show. And it was a good run. 6 months is a good time to run that. And I'll tell you why. Because the 5 o'clock focus was great. It's interesting, and it's a benchmark, and you try something out. But I like benchmarks to run about 6 months, and then there'll be core things that are associated with the show. The airing of grievances will always be on Friday until I get tired of that, but I doubt it, and I really love the airing of grievances. But the 5 o'clock focus was a good run. It ran a good run for 6 months, but there are a lot of interesting things that I want to do for the show, and I want time to do it. And not only that, I want to incorporate a lot more phone calls because they are becoming, there's a growing audience and there are growing people who are starting to flock towards the show. We have our regulars who call in, and they celebrities in their own right, local heroes in their own right. But I want to expand the show and expand that opportunity for others to call in. So after today will be the last 5 o'clock focus. Until, maybe we'll bring it back a couple of years down the road. But I just want to do something a little new. And I want to make this show as exciting as I could ever be. And I want this show to grow. So I need your help to do it. And we will make it interesting so that when you share the show, people don't say, oh, that show sucked. What'd you bug me for? You got to make it good. All right. 860-522-WTIC. Let's get to Adam in East Hartford. How we doing, Adam?
Reese, be careful of the crazy drivers out there. I was saying earlier that I was getting off the exit ramp at exit 45 in East Windsor, southbound, in order to stop at Geisler's and get a few things yesterday because I had a dentist appointment up in that area earlier that I visited a brother in northern Connecticut in Enfield, and there was a guy with a vehicle, SUV, and he was in a rush to get to the gas station, and we're coming down the exit ramp, and it's a 25-mile-an-hour zone. Maybe I was going 34, maybe I was going 30, but he was in some kind of a rush, and he's trying to squeeze between me and a breakdown lane of an exit ramp.
Wow.
And I'm going as well as he was, you know?
I don't understand people being impatient because, especially under these conditions, why would you even risk it? Like, take your time. I used to say that to the kids all the time. It's better to arrive than to arrive dead. Just chill out. There is no rush.
Because the biggest reason would be it's not like they're trying to get a baby to the hospital or they're
yeah, that's something different.
Or they're not even late for work. They just want to race and push you out of the way, you know?
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's what they do.
But keep up the good work. Your topics are always great, and thanks for your show, you know?
My pleasure, sir. Thank you. I'll keep doing it. Tom is in Thomaston. How we doing, Tom?
Hey, I'm doing well. Hey, I'll tell you my bad news story, but first, I was in the Army from 84 to 89.
Okay.
I think Arlington, because that call's right, because they're getting so filled up.
Right.
You got to have wartime and special circumstances.
Okay.
But anyone that's honorably discharged can get buried in a state military cemetery and or military honors. You know, you could do your own cemetery, but you can
still get the honors, right?
Military honors.
Right.
Yeah. And
no, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, most when I was in the National Guard, we used to do the funerals, but now mostly the American Legion take care of the honorary services, and they do as good a job, you know. As
and I've seen them do it. I've seen them do it, and it is gold star. It is absolutely white glove. It's beautiful. I've seen them a lot. They're absolutely fantastic.
Side note: I was on a flag detail to take the flag down on the post, and one day the sergeant major of the whole Army was there, and he said that we were the best group of soldiers he'd ever seen do the take down the flag service. So anyway,
real quick, what was the bad news story?
So I was chosen to get a driver's license in the Army in Germany. So the sergeant of the night had to go tell a soldier that his brother died.
Wow.
And I was the driver, and the guy was my best friend.
Wow.
And we drove around, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And we looked at his girlfriend's house. He was dating a girl in town in Germany. We never found him. We got back to the post, and luckily for me, they weren't. The captain told him the next morning himself. So,
wow.
But man, I did not want to do that, and luckily I didn't have to.
Yeah, that's a rough one. That's again, somebody passing is a rough one to actually
and it
do.
was his younger brother. You know, it wasn't a parent. Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah, those are, like I said, I know the usual ones. Having to tell somebody about a death is really, really tough, especially if it's like a brother or a sister or somebody like that. That stuff's, but I've even heard worse stories than that, but having to tell somebody that their house burned down.
That would be tough.
Yeah, that would be tough. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate you, sir. Let's go to Tony, who's in Southington. How we doing, Tony? Tony? Okay, Tony's got to deal with somebody else. Okay, no problem. Hey, Commentary is in the house. How we doing, sir?
What up, Reese?
What's going on?
I'm dying over here, man. I've been sick for like a week and a half.
Oh, my wife rags on me. She says when I've got a stomach ache, she thinks I'm going like I'm about to die. She mocks me.
No, this ain't that. I was tucked up in the covers like a 5-year-old waiting on Christmas the next morning. I heard homeboy call in and talk about his wife and this, that, and the other. And while I appreciate somebody's service to the country and everything like that, it doesn't all make it all the same.
Right.
It's not the same. Period.
I think he was concerned. I think he was concerned about having his wife next to him. That's a fair concern, Terry, isn't it?
Well, fair enough, but that doesn't make you a hero just because.
I don't think that's what he was saying, Terry. Come on, he wasn't saying that.
Exactly what he said, bro. I had to take the covers off and throw them to the side because I got so mad at listening to what he said. You are not the same just because you were in a military uniform as somebody who's performed actual combat duties. As somebody who's actually went out there and either been shot
See,
at.
this is the
or
thing.
Had to shoot people.
Let me say it.
Get to just
Terry,
just
hold
walk
on.
around.
Let me just say this. Let me say it. Okay, this is one thing that I learned the hard way back in 2014. This is not a conversation you want to begin with somebody who's in the military because they will.
I'll tell everybody about it. Anybody that knows that combat veterans and just regular people that have been in the military are not the same thing.
Oh, no, I get it.
Same community, none of that.
Do you understand, Terry? Let me say
Everybody
this.
knows
Hold
the
on.
difference.
Terry, before you go off the deep end, I know you're passionate. Hear me out. Listen to me. It's one of the reasons my wife always wants to go down to the base. She always wants to go down to the Army base. She always does. And I tell her, I can't go. She's like, why? Why can't you go? I really want you to experience the life that I had here. I can't. And here's why. Wait. Let me tell you why. When I get there, let me tell you, I'm a fish out of water. I see her and the people that are there and the way they communicate and the way that they talk. It is like being being the inside of a special organization that you don't understand. And it makes me feel uncomfortable. So when I hear you and your passion, trust me, I know. You guys,
because it's the truth. When military people meet one another and they identify one another through whatever idiosyncrasy that may or may not exist between us, when I see somebody or somebody sees me, that we automatically identify one another as a military veteran. The first question that comes out of their mouth after that is, "What'd you do?"
Yeah, what's your MOS? Yeah.
If you're a dentist. Yeah, what was your MOS? If you're just some dentist or you're chairperson, and I understand the military is a logistical operation. Without one piece, the train falls off the track. I get all that.
Terry,
but
do you understand?
There's a difference between somebody like me who's patrolled the streets of Ramadi, Iraq, and there's a difference between the person that made the spaghetti. There's a whole difference.
I know, Terry. Why
language.
you're preaching to the choir here? How did I know to ask the question, "What's your MOS?" Because I've been around my wife. I could talk the lingo. If I wanted to mimic her, I could. She asked the same questions every time, and sometimes I even joke with her. And their wives will be there, and of course, because I'm technically a military wife. But when I'm sitting there with them, with the wives, and I will literally go to the guy's wife, and I'll go, "Ma'am, let's go over here," because they're not going to stop talking. They're going to do this all day. I was like, "Hey, how are you? What do you do?" Because they act like no one else is around. I get it. It is a brotherhood and a sisterhood that I will never understand. It is like
it's sacred.
Yes, it is, and it's sacred.
There's a difference between even your last caller right now, and I don't mean in any way, shape, or form to disrespect his call or what he had to say, but there's a difference between him talking about whatever his friend, how they passed away or whatever the case may be. I got a friend right now, his picture's on my bedside right now. He walked outside of his house and blew his fucking head off with a shotgun.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Terry? All right, I got to cut him off. He said, okay. He got a little passionate there. It's just, that's, again, it's, again, as much as you try to calm him down, it's just like it's always going to go that one extra mile. It always does. Let's take another one real quick before we get out of here. Eric is in Hartford. How we doing, Eric?
Hey, Reese. How you doing, bud? How are you?
What's up, buddy?
Hey, a good friend of Craig Judge, man. He told me to get on here because you got a great topic today, bad news stories. Well, I tell you what, I was used to that. I was a trader on Wall Street for about 23 years.
So you had to deliver... You had to deliver financial bad news.
On a daily basis. We had something called the 1,000-pound phone call. That's basically when you put somebody in 100,000 shares at $10, and about 15 minutes later, it's trading at 9 1/4. That was your 1,000-pound phone call to Mr. Jones here. Hey, you want to buy some more?
How much now? When you have to make phone calls like that, are we talking about someone? Are we talking about someone who ends up in the poorhouse because of it, or just just behind the eight ball.
No, we traded for hedge funds and mutual funds, but no, it was all financial, wins and losses, in the stock market on a daily basis. But we called it the 1,000-pound phone.
So
call.
when give me a real quick scenario within a minute. That phone call telling them that they lost, like, what was it considered? What's a significant amount of money that you had to tell them they lost?
Oh, hundreds of thousands of dollars. We were dealing with hedge funds and mutual funds, trading big positions.
Were you hesitant? Were you hesitant to make that call, or after doing it so often?
Not at all. Not at all.
Oh,
not at all, because it shows two things. One, in bad news, you got to be right on. You can't ghost anybody, even with bad news. This way, that they respect that. And then they make another decision. Do you want to buy some more at this level or what? And it's like, okay, I can respect it. But if you start ghosting people in bad news in any industry, I don't care if you're selling trucks, Wall Street, you can't be doing that. You lose respect. So
does it make you
1,000-pound phone call?
Does it make you stronger? Does it make you stronger or tougher? And I'm using those terms loosely, but like in your regular life because you've had those exchanges.
Oh, absolutely both. Because when you've done it a lot. It makes it easier to pick up the 1,000-pound phone call. And we all have it. We all know what those calls are. They're just a tough phone call. And the more you do it, the tougher your character becomes, because after a while, you're really, really doing your job. That's what it is.
I've avoided those kind of phone calls. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I've avoided those kind of phone calls, Eric, for like 7 weeks. I've held out. Sometimes it ain't easy, man. It's not easy.
It never is. But if you're talking to a life coach or something, you know what he would say right now?
Yeah. Whatever
that call is, pick up the phone right now.
Yeah.
Right now. Just do.
It's true.
Behind you, and you know what? It's true.
You got to pull off. I think it sort of is like pulling off a scab. You just got to let it happen and get it over with. So it's behind you, not in front of you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I got to tell you,
I got to go to a break, Eric. Eric, I got to go to a break, but thank you, man. I appreciate you giving the holler. Let's get another check of our traffic from Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. How we doing, Mark?
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, use a little caution on the secondary roads. Could be a little slippery tonight. Main roads are doing
You're
well.
good,
really
Terry.
well
I hope he caught
in the
it.
Hartford area right now. 84 both
I knew you were getting
north
too.
and south moving.
I knew you were getting too far.
291, 384, okay, east of the river. 2 eastbound in good shape, Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet
I'll
Middletown.
never be able to talk you down from a ledge.
91 in the Parkway moving very well, heading down in toward New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of our Thursday afternoon, we'll get some areas of freezing drizzle, a storm total of 3 to 6 inches of snow when it's all said and done, the high 34. Becoming clear tonight, the low down to 31. A windy day on Friday with clouds and sun. Now, the high 37 is going to feel like it's down in the 20s at best with a strong cold west-northwest wind at 12 to 25 miles an hour all day. Then Saturday, increasing clouds during the day, quiet daytime, but nighttime is going to get messy. The high 35 Saturday. Saturday night, another 3 to 6 inches of snow with rapidly deteriorating road conditions. The low down to 27. Increasing amounts of sunshine on Sunday with periods of snow and sleet ending in the morning with little or no additional accumulation. So a storm total 3 to 6 inches, the high of 34 Sunday. Monday, clouds and sun, the high back to 34. Cloudy, a little snow in the afternoon. Tuesday, the high 29. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
When winter weather hits, you can depend on WTIC News Talk 1080 to get you through every storm. With weather, Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center working around the clock to give you the latest, most accurate winter weather forecasts. With traffic, Mark Christopher and the WTIC traffic team will get you around the tie-ups. With news, the WTIC News team will have all the important news updates related to every storm. So when winter weather hits, WTIC News Talk 1080 is your most trusted source for the winter information you need. And now, a WTIC news update.
5:30, 27 degrees in Hartford. I'm John Silva. A woman accused of firing a gun in the Bristol Police Department in 2023 has pled guilty. Suzanne LaPrise is 52. She'll be sentenced on a charge of criminal attempt to commit assault with a firearm. It was October 6, 2023, when LaPrise opened fire at the front desk office window in the lobby of the Bristol PD headquarters. Snow and freezing rain made for a tricky commute this morning. In anticipation of the bad weather, many school districts decided to play it safe and close for the day. Today's was the first of several rounds of winter weather forecasted for the area over the next several days, as you just heard. Man is under arrest for allegedly assaulting police officers in Plainfield. Albert Herbert was charged. They say police were called to the Quality Inn on Lathrop Road Wednesday night after he was found to be intoxicated. Police say he got into a beef with one of the hotel staffers. Police showed up. He spat on one officer, tried to grab one's taser and another's firearm. Israel says it has begun preparations for the departure of large numbers of Palestinians from the Gaza Strip, in line with President Trump's plan for the territory. Wall Street, the Dow finished down 125 today. NASDAQ picked up 99 points, and the S&P was up 22. Should be a good one tonight in women's college basketball. 5th-ranked UConn and number 19 Tennessee renew acquaintances. In the NBA, the Celtics host Dallas, the Knicks, and the Nets are idle. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Coverage varies by plan, view contracts and exclusions at EnduranceWarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203.
Diabetes, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. It's too. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
I still don't know what had happened was.
What had happened was.
You know what that is. Well, you want to know what happened was? Plenty has happened today. We played a very, very cool video today about two women who were at a march on Inauguration Day talking about black women and how much they support them. But then when they found out that black women actually voted for Donald Trump, they didn't know what to do with themselves. Here is a little bit of that exchange.
You know, black women are probably the least respected in America. Their voices aren't heard. Their issues aren't paid attention to. Many white women look beyond their own personal interests, and they leave black women out of the conversation. And I think America needs to change about that.
What are we not trusting them to do right now?
How to care for our country, how to care for each other, how to stand up and fight for things that aren't right.
Millions of black women voted for Trump. Should we trust them?
Millions of black women voted for Trump?
Way too many. It is.
Should we trust them?
I don't know.
Maybe not trust black women then.
That's not true. I do trust black women.
Who'd vote for Kamala Harris?
I think. He wants to know if I trust the black women who voted for Trump.
They don't seem to know. And also, we played the video of Isaiah Carter, who, ironically, a day after I talked about what's going on in Gaza and compared it to what the Democrats have done to the African-American community, Isaiah Carter was out on the street filming himself talking about the Democrat Party and seems to be echoing yours truly.
And now we come to USAID being probably the largest money laundering operation in American history. Congratulations, Dems. You've outdone even Bernie Madoff. I'm disgusted beyond words. Disgusted with the waste of money. Disgusted with the waste, with the fraud. With the way that you people use color legitimacy, and the way you use black people as mules to get us to push whatever agenda you wanted to. The amount of division you used black people to sow upon the American people, you used us for that. And I will never, ever forgive this political party that I've gone through personally.
Yeah, it's just it's absolutely insane. It is crazy. We're gonna actually today, this afternoon, after I do my walk with my wife, I'm gonna post these videos or excerpts of it. If not, just the segment from the original opening monologue. We'll put that on Facebook so you guys can get a look at it and share it with your friends. It's important to understand what's going on with the Democrat Party and the levels of which they have lost their mind. And in my opinion, look, I said I don't see them gaining any significant power in the next 14 years. But it could be a lot longer than that. The party is lost, and it was, I'm sorry, but the party had it coming. I've watched this party pretty much disintegrate on itself, and it's got no one to blame but itself. But that's what happened was on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. Let's get another check of our traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. You don't sound too bad today, Mark. It looked like you might be salvaging the voice.
I'm hoping that it is. This is not something you want when you have to talk for 6 hours a day. So
yeah, no deal.
Hopefully, this is going to come to an end soon. Yeah. Reese, thank you very much. Well, good afternoon, everyone. 8491 Route 291 384. Okay, east of the river. Middletown's okay. 9 in the Aragona Bridge. It's quiet in Waterbury. 84 and 8. If you're heading toward New Haven, no issues. 91 in the Parkway. Want to keep this in mind if you are out tonight. Some of the secondary roads could be a little bit slippery out there, so definitely keep that in mind when you're driving around if you have to be out tonight. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
I would concur with that, with skies becoming clear and the temperature dropping down below freezing tonight, the low down to 31. Then a windy day on Friday with clouds and sun, the high 37. Going to feel like it's in the 20s much of the day with the strong west-northwest winds. Saturday, increasing clouds, the high 35. But Saturday night, that's when the action happens. 3 to 6 inches of snow, rapidly deteriorating road conditions, the low down to 27. Periods of snow and sleet ending on Sunday morning with little or no additional accumulation. Excuse me. Storm total of 3 to 6 inches, then increasing sunshine, the high of 34 on Sunday. Right now, it's 32 in Waterbury, Danbury at 35, New Haven 32, and 27 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund, so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
If better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today and start the year off knowing you're giving your liver some well-deserved relief.
You can find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
Join us this Sunday for Tumulo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father and son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch the replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumulo Financial Retirement Planning with Integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hers weight loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded.
Everyone's talking about the breakthrough of weight loss drugs, but too few can access or afford them. Hers is changing that. At forhers.com/radio, you can access doctor-trusted weight loss treatments tailored to you, like GLP-1 weekly injections with the same active ingredient as Ozempic and Wegovy, or oral medications at a fraction of the price. That's right. You'll save up to 91% per month on compounded semaglutide based on pricing through hers. The
Not
same
me,
active
Kevin. I'm
ingredient
not
as the
getting
name
sick.
brand drug at 91% less. There's no hidden fees and no membership fees. Just one low, transparent price. And the process is 100% online. If prescribed, your personalized plan ships free directly to your door. Get started at forhers.com/radio to access affordable doctor-trusted weight loss plans that put you first. That's forhers.com/radio. FORHERS.com/radio.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss the announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about you and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
USAID
800-329-2121.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Let's get back to the phones, 860-522-WTIC. Do not forget, we have a between rounds giveaway, and it's the last but not least caller of the day who gets a dozen bagels for 6 months, a dozen bagels a month for 6 months, which is a courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagels Bakery and Sandwich Cafe located in South Windsor, Manchester, and Vernon. And I want to thank those folks who are listening to the show now. Thank you guys for supporting the show. Your support means everything to WTIC as we're about to embark on our 100th year on Monday. Now, let's get to my good friend Matt in Bristol. What's going on, Matt?
Hello, Mr. Hopkins. How are you doing, sir?
Pretty good, sir.
First of all, I'd say you almost gave me a heart attack.
Why?
Because I thought your bad news was you weren't going to be on the radio anymore.
Sorry.
My gut fell. I'm like, oh, no.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I've done something that evil before on April Fool's Day, and it almost it went off without a hitch, too.
Don't do that.
Okay.
Don't do that. Don't. That will kill me. Literally kill me. So, yeah, I had to give really bad news to someone I respect more than anything recently, that their jokes were horrible. And
come on!
I came up with better jokes on the fly, and it hurt. It hurt me to say that to that guy, but hey.
Well, you know what? I hope that guy took it in spirit, that you meant it in good spirits, that you weren't trying to hurt their feelings. You were just saying that their jokes were bad, that you didn't mean it.
I don't know. He's pretty vengeful. This guy. So we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll learn the hard way whether or not the guy can actually take that kind of criticism. I think, look, if he's a friend of yours, he must be a good guy. You're a good guy. And I hope he took that criticism, with a grain of salt. Like he knows that, you care about him. You don't want him to look bad.
There we go.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want him to look bad. I will tell you this, though. I have a suspicion, a deep suspicion in my mind that he's not going to listen to you and continue to tell those horrible jokes. I don't know why.
You know what? I kind of have that feeling too. I kind of do. Even though my jokes are better, I have a feeling he's going to keep telling the awful ones that he's got.
You know what? If anybody ever calls you modest, you punch them in the face, okay? Thank you, Matt. I appreciate you, sir. Let's go to Tony in Southington. How we doing, Tony? Tony? Yeah, he's got something else going on. Andrew's in New Britain. Hi, Andrew.
Yeah, hi, Reese. Good afternoon. About delivering, just delivering bad news or news in general.
Yeah.
Everything's kind of based on storytelling. I
Good
find
point.
to be the best way to communicate, things to people. And in this case, consider like if you wanted to tell someone a recipe, okay? You don't want to just tell them what the recipe is. You want to begin by telling them what it is that you're gonna tell them. Okay, you want to describe what it's going to be, a little bit about the process, etc. Then you give them.
So to get them in, are you suggesting getting them invested in the actual recipe?
Well, like the process is you first tell them what it is you plan to tell them.
Okay.
Then you give them the information. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And then you kind of give them a roundup. Okay. Now in the case of bad news, okay, this week I, got some distressing news about my grandfather. He was a subject of unethical medical research.
Oh wow!
By the occupied, like a German occupied hospital in Europe during the war. And the fellow that this is something that we'd always suspected, and it became confirmed. A fellow contacted me, telling me he was doing biographical research, about the person. And then he came back and said, well, actually, the full story is, I've got some distressing news related to that. Okay. And then instead of dropping the news, and then you asking a million questions, okay,
which of course you would.
Yeah. But he kind of set the table, okay, and then sort of parsed out the information. But after setting it up with, related details that you were gonna ask for later.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let me ask you this, because I want to get to some other calls. I apologize. I don't want to cut you short, but I got a lot of calls I need to get to. Did you have to deliver the news to your grandfather? Were you the person who was in charge of doing that?
I had to deliver the information to my siblings.
Oh, to your siblings. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's, know what, to the siblings instead of to the actual subject that can be difficult, but then everybody's got to draw straws on exactly who's the one who's got to tell grandpa. But I totally get the meaning. Thank you, Andrew. Let me get to some others here. Dan is in East Windsor. How we doing, Dan?
Hey, Reese. How you doing?
I'm pretty good.
That's good. Since this is the last 5 o'clock focus ever, I thought I would chime in.
Sure.
Way back many years ago, my mother had cancer, and she'd been in and out of remission, so she checked herself in the hospital, just went on a morphine drip. And the morning that she died, my sister Kim was at the hospital with her, and my sister Denise was coming to pick me up, and we were going to go. And it was like 4 something in the morning when Kim called me and told me that my mother had passed. And then my sister Denise and her husband came to pick me up, and here we are. It was quite awkward in the car. I already knew, and she was talking about what was going to tell Mom and all this stuff. And so about halfway there, we stopped at 7-Eleven, and I had to tell her. I just had to come out with it. And
was it eating you up that you knew and you knew that they didn't?
Yeah, and I finally had to just tell her. And of course, she was mad at me for a while. Wouldn't talk to me for a while, but she got over it. But on that subject of delivering bad news, who has to do it on a regular basis?
Who's that?
Police officers have to go knock on the door of a perfect stranger's house and tell them that a member of their family has been killed in a car accident, stuff like that. My father was a cop, and he told me that was literally the hardest part of his job was family notifications.
Wow. Yeah, I can imagine that. It doesn't matter because you would think because they're so removed from that individual. The one thing that bonds us is that, the moment of birth and the moment, police officer who sees a pregnant woman in a car about to give birth. it is exciting and exhilarating in that moment to be at the production of life, if you will, and then to be there at the end of it is probably just as emotional, as I would say, but in a different way. That's a great point. And I feel bad that your sister, I mean, you felt compelled to finally give it up, and you didn't want. But it made you feel guilty for not telling her. That's an interesting point.
I couldn't let us get to the hospital and let my sister Kim tell her, and then for her to find out that I knew all along.
Oh, that was and it turns out you did know, and you still it was a double-edged sword, no matter how you slice it. So
exactly.
Thank you, buddy. That is sad, but thank you for the story. I appreciate it. Let's go to Lori's in Glastonbury. How we doing?
Okay, hey, I have a question now. So, is this the last 5 o'clock focus ever?
Let's just see how long Reese on the radio stays on the show. I'm just moving on from the 5 o'clock focus because I have some other interesting things I want to introduce, and I don't have enough time in 3 hours. But you're gonna love what we bring. You're gonna love what we do next.
Yeah, no, it's totally fine. It's your show. You do you, boo. I just, but I let us switch from what you're talking about with the 5 o'clock focus. I heard this analogy to the whole U.S. aid thing and Elon Musk and the Democrats screaming and all of that nonsense. And I didn't know if anybody had mentioned this analogy yet, but I thought it was brilliant. So, you own a bank, and your security guard tells you that somebody robbed the bank, but the security guard saw the person who robbed the bank and caught the person who robbed the bank, and now he has the person who robbed the bank in his custody. Mm-hmm. But you're going to be mad at the security guard for telling you who robbed your bank. That's what the Democrats are actually doing.
You're talking about Gavin Newsom's California.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's crazy to me.
Isn't that exactly the same thing? In Gavin Newsom's California, do you remember they were firing people who worked at Walgreens and CVS if they stopped people from stealing from them?
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's exactly the same thing. And it's like, the lack of logic is astounding. It's absolutely astounding. You're going to shoot the messenger.
I don't think that's
telling you a message you don't want to hear.
But Lori, I think that we're looking at it from a very logical place, and you've listened to this show long enough to know that this is Occam's razor. It always is with Democrats. The thing that you think it is, it most likely is. And for them, they're exposing that they don't want us to know what they've done with our money, because again, what are they shouting? They're shouting at the guy who's exposing it, but not talking about the exposure of the things, right? They should be just as outraged. This is the average person would be outraged at what we found. They are the only ones who aren't. It's like the guy, I don't know if you've ever seen this movie, but with Judd Nelson called From the Hip. And in the movie, William Hurt is the bad guy in the West End. He's the one who's killed the prostitute. And Judd Hirsch's character is trying to mesmerize the courtroom by saying that the woman's not dead. She's still alive, and she's about to walk into the courtroom. And it's a stunt. But when it's done, and he says, she says, walk through the courtroom right now. And everybody in the courtroom turns around and looks at the courtroom door, except the killer. And David Alan Grier's character says to Judd Nelson, he didn't turn around. He never once turned around. And that's how you know. The Democrats are William Hurt. They never turned around because they know that what they've done is wrong. That's why they're screaming and hollering about it.
They're yelling at the guy who pantsed them.
Exactly.
That's pretty much what's happening.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's all. And they don't want anybody to know. And that's the part that they're ticked off about, is that now we know. And remember, they're angry at Elon for serving us, whom they don't have any intention of doing at all. When you got David Axelrod and Rahm Emanuel, the guy who said, never let a tragedy go to waste. You have Rahm Emanuel and David Axelrod telling Democrats, you're dying on the wrong hill on this USAID. Go inside. Get out of this now, because it's not going to serve you well. Two of the biggest Democrats, strategists in the world, are telling Democrats, get off the streets, and they're not listening.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. One last thought, and I know you got to go.
Yeah.
But I do miss the music. I'm just saying I miss the music. I'm sorry. I know it's a licensing thing, and I know
Don't
that
worry,
you gotta, work out all
we're
the
working
kinks and
on
all
it.
that, but I do miss it.
I know you do. It's fun. It's a fun part of the show. It is a fun part of the show. Okay, last but not least, caller of the day is Craig.
Oh, my goodness.
Look at you lucky son of a gun. You know the timing and everything. All right, you got a minute and a half. Are you calling in for the 5 o'clock focus? Or are you calling in for the last 5 o'clock focus would only be appropriate for you to call in?
This 5 o'clock focus, man, there is nothing. I don't think there's any harder news to give if it's about health or somebody passing away.
Yeah. Have you ever had to do it?
I have never had to do it, but I remember 15 years ago, my uncle went in for a transplant surgery, and he died on the operating table.
Ooh.
And my father had to call me to tell me, and I'll never forget the pain in his voice. And as bad as I hurt more for him.
Yeah.
That's tough, man. But
yeah.
I think the most common bad news that any of us have to do is if you're a boss or a business owner telling somebody that they don't have a job anymore.
Yeah.
And I've had to do that a lot, and it was really hard in the beginning until I read a book by Jack Welch, who was running GE.
Yeah, sure.
And he had a whole chapter on that, and he said it was hard for him too until he started getting phone calls, and he would run into people that he had fired over the years because they had a 10% bottom policy.
Yeah.
The bottom 10% got fired every year.
Ah,
and when you're running GE, that's tens of thousands of people.
Yeah.
And those people were coming up to him and saying, thank you. I was in the wrong job. It was the wrong position for me. I wasn't happy. Had I not been fired, had you not let me go, I never would have started my own company. I never would have gone to work for this company. So I just happened to be in that position of my career where I was starting to have to do the hiring and the firing.
Yeah.
And that book, man,
changes your life. I got the same book when I got my first supervisor job at age 26. I became operations manager. I'll always love that. Thank you, boss man. Hold on. Yep. We're going to get Craig a dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the bagel bakery and sandwich shop located in South Windsor, Manchester, and Vernon. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. He is Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Good night, Mark.
I'll tell you, this bagel thing is so huge.
Yeah?
They're asking about it on one of our FM stations.
No kidding.
No, because Gina over at TIC FM, she goes, what's this bagel thing? Oh, I said Reese's last call of the afternoon on 1080. She goes, oh, okay, I got a caller that's asking about it. So
really?
This thing is blowing up.
Love it. Love it. And no one got a bagel joke today, so you get 2 tomorrow.
Oh, there you go. What a way to wrap up the week, huh? Fantastic. Reese, have a great night.
You too.
Everybody drive slow out there tonight. Could be slippery, especially on the secondary roads.
All right, sir.
All right. Did you catch Terry, by the way?
What, he said this?
No, he said, Terry's? Oh, he got an F-bomb.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's quiet on the roads, 8491, Route 229.
He's, I don't understand. You know you can't curse on the radio.
Yeah, I know. I think it's getting the passion and stuff. That's where it happens.
I got you.
Have a good weather together.
All right. Well, anyway, other than that, we'll see you tomorrow.
1080.
WTIC weather.
Tonight it'll become
see you tomorrow.
Low down to 31. A windy day for us Friday with a mix of clouds and sun. The high 37. Well, it's going to feel like it's down in the 20s.
All right, everybody. Tomorrow is the day we got. Thank you, Fritz, and thank you, Michael A. We got a whole bunch of stuff. Let me tell you. By the way, I'll tell you real quick what the April Fool's joke. So it's WRKO April Fool's 2008, and I had no joke. And usually I have a really, really good personal joke that I do with a bunch of friends. And I didn't really have one. So I decided I was going to do one on the radio, but I couldn't tell anybody, not even my producer, Bill Cooksey. So in the middle of the show, I had a break that was very similar to our top of the hour break, where I come in for 5 minutes and then the traffic comes in. So I knew the break was coming up. And so I was in the middle of telling something, a very, very passionate story, And Cooksey interrupts by playing the traffic, what's his name? So I start screaming at him. And I go, what are we going to a break for? And he's like, no, we got to go to a break here. I'm like, look, I'm in the middle of something. And look, if you people are not going to let me do this show, that's it. I'm out of here. There's no reason for me to be here. I'm done. And I walked off the air, and he played commercials for a good 6 minutes, almost 7. Longest break ever. And people were calling up the office, and they were going, what the hell did he leave? Did he quit? Oh, my God. And so then we waited to the next break, and then when it came in, I got back on, and I was like, April Fools. And people were so mad. I got all of this hate mail. But like loving hate mail, if you will. Don't ever do that again. So it was pretty cool. So, yeah, I'll never, ever do anything like that again. I promise. Yeah, right. You guys be good. I love you. And, yeah, that's about it. We'll be here tomorrow. Airing of grievances tomorrow. You guys stay out of trouble, all right? What the heck? Okay, there we go.